Welcome to the after party. Welcome to the after party. Did you bring some snacks and treats?
Yes, it did.
I hope you got me something to eat.
Maybe.
Welcome to the after party. Coming to the after party.
Right now.
I've been waiting here all day to act like a fool this way. Welcome to the after party. Join us in the after party.
Right now.
Oh, chocolate and dabbing, maybe some microphone dabbing at
Geeks and
the
gabbing.
after party.
With DJ, Eric, Paige.
And Lance. How did that happen? You guys, I didn't
What?
swap the places when I loaded everybody back up.
It
So
was
weird.
me. I did it.
Oh,
I
did
took
you?
control.
Okay,
Yeah, it was behind the scenes. Sorry, I forgot to tell you.
Okay, cool. All right, so welcome to the show, everyone. As you can see, the topic today is pretty much going to be Superman and Lois season 2, and we're going to also talk about the recent interview with David Ramsey that has everybody like going wild on social media, and whether or not some of that is just him speculating or if it's actual real stuff. And then if we have time at the end, we might talk a little bit about the Batwoman stuff about getting released. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk
What?
about that. Batwoman getting released in theaters in the UK or
Batgirl.
So, Batgirl, yeah. Batwoman, Batgirl. I get confused. So many Bat characters.
Wow. Talk about a misogynist. Wow.
Yeah.
Straight off the gate.
Because you'll end up sounding like those weirdos that were
Which weirdos?
the weirdos that were posting all the photos of Leslie Grace when she got cast, talking about some. Oh yeah, you know she doesn't look anything like.
Yeah. I
Ryan
remember
Wilder
those.
and Kate Kent. I'm like, that's because they're different.
She's not the same character. But yeah, so we can talk about that briefly because it's very little bit of news.
JK, calm down in the chat, mate. Calm down.
Cal with the 99-cent super chat, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And they say Lance show. I think we can kind of see the shirt, but if you want to show it off more, I guess.
I'm worn it on here before.
Yeah, it's just from the.
You can see that Eric and Lance both shilled out today.
Yeah, we did. We definitely showed out today.
I just got home from work and put this shirt on.
So anyway, yeah. So that's basically be the topic for today, and we're gonna go through it. Now, the thing is with Superman and Lois, it's not gonna be as I guess easy because. Well, it might not be as edgy either because they didn't have graphic novels. So basically, it's just we'll talk about each story for the season.
5 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's not much to talk about.
Yeah, I know. It's basically we're leading up to the drama and then the David Ramsey interview because that's kind of where we're gonna go with this. But as I was going back because I watched the season again this week just to sort of like remember things.
God, you get through shows quickly.
Yeah, well, it was only 15 episodes.
You say,
yeah, it wasn't bad.
Hey,
but basically, I did see a lot of criticism for certain characters, and I didn't necessarily agree with them initially. But after going back and watching the season, I see that there were some issues with a couple of characters that we're going to be talking about here. Yeah. So
I can't remember because I was spaced out for so long.
I know that's why I had to go back and watch it. All right, so first let's talk about the characters whose storyline kind of was the one that sort of went through the whole season, and that was the Cushings, like Lana and her family.
I love the Cushings. Oh my god!
Going back to that storyline, it's weird because they did take up their storyline, took up all the side story stuff for the entire season. Yeah. For the beginning to the end, and it was criticized as being uninteresting, and some people were saying it was boring and that it didn't serve any purpose. But I think personally that Lana got the most out of that storyline, out of everyone, more than Sarah, and way more than Kyle, because to be honest, Kyle being split off had no character development whatsoever. He was just, his entire storyline revolved around talking with the kids and basically being lovesick for Lana. There wasn't anything else really there for him to grow as a character. So maybe. I personally feel like this storyline, we could have facilitated Lana's rise to becoming mayor without all the other stuff happening. That's true. I don't understand the necessity of splitting up the family and doing all that if you're not going to do anything with Kyle. If Kyle would have had a separate storyline that showed something important happening with him as that split off character, then I'd be like, well, yeah, this makes sense to me. But since he didn't really grow, it feels like they split them up and then didn't do anything with Kyle. And obviously we have the stuff with Sarah and Jordan, but I don't want to jump too far ahead. Looking back at this, do you feel like this storyline was unnecessarily bloated? Do you think that it served any purpose? What are your general thoughts on this entire storyline? Because it's kind of slow and it takes the whole season to get to the point, really.
I think it's yeah, as you said, I think the Lana stuff was pretty much fine. But the Kyle stuff, I just felt like the ending didn't match the journey.
Right.
Even though it wasn't an overly indulgent journey, like I still line up with what people are theorizing that Kyle probably should have died. And I know I've always been of this big thing of like, oh well, you know, you can't just kill off characters for the sake of it. But it felt like that would have been a somewhat, I know it sounds weird, but fitting end to Kyle's story because it was about self-redemption. But then again, I don't think the finale set it up for him to be a savior in any sort of way. So I don't know how they would have done that come the finale. So I think it's probably one of the issues because it is a big cast because you don't have one really main character. It's at minimum 2, but you would argue 4 if you include the boys. And then you got to include the Cushings, which in itself is, you know, you just say the Cushings as a side character, but that entails 4 other characters. I know you probably exclude the youngest, but so 3. So out of the gate, you got 7 main / supporting, or like, you know, main, or, you know, roughly main characters. So they need to try and keep the Cushings somewhat involved. And it's always going to be difficult when at the baseline of it, they're not overly interesting, or like the interesting factors of them come with their association with one of the Kents. Yeah. Whether it's Clark, whether it's Jordan, whether it's Jonathan, whatever it is. So I'm interested to see what they do with them in season 3, because I definitely think they missed the mark in season 2 in regards to at least the screen time they got.
Okay. What about you, Lance? What are your general thoughts on this storyline, and was there anything they could have done to make it better for you, or were you happy with the way they handled this?
Kind of indifferent to it all, honestly. Like I didn't really care. I wasn't one of those who were mad that they got so much screen time or mad about like the story in general. Like Paige said, they are basically, you know, the second family of leads on the show. You know, they are, even if you want to categorize them as like heavily recurring, they're still main characters. So they needed a story. This was a way that they decided to fit them in. I'm honestly still trying to figure out how they got to the mayor stuff from Kyle cheating. Right. I mean, that didn't really work for me, but I mean, other than that, I thought it was cool for what it was.
So would you say that parts of it felt like they skipped over and rushed to things, and other parts it was like drawn out? Is that kind of what you're getting at?
I feel as if we have deleted scenes somewhere, and maybe once they do the season 2 Blu-ray release, we'll get those scenes. It's most likely stuff missing, because
I wonder if they actually had to add. I feel like because they got they kind of went on with some episodes, maybe they just had to make stuff to fit in. Like some of those scenes to me felt unfinished, like you're saying, but I wonder if it's because they had to create those to make up for time. I wonder if that's the case. I don't. Either way, you're probably right. We won't know until the Blu-ray comes out, and maybe there is some.
It just feels like feels like something's missing, and like the animosity towards Kyle from Lana at the beginning. Like I get it, the whole relationship aspect, but the way it just seemed like so much was put on her plate and stuff she couldn't handle, that she was just putting it out on others, and it didn't feel like. It felt like Smallville Lana at times. Okay. It kind of turned me off, but at the same time, I didn't really care.
Yeah, we could talk about what happened with Lana as the show went on Smallville and the storylines they gave her, but that's for another video. So we have Victor here with a $5 super chat and a Team Eric member. Thank you so much, Victor. Will season 3 be the last for any few characters? Any ideas who and what storyline they used to send them off? Do we know what their contracts say? I don't think we've seen any contractual negotiations about anyone from Superman and Lois, right? I don't.
And there'd probably be 5 seasons like most of them are.
I would say this. I don't think anybody on the show would be looking to get away from a popular show right now. I mean, this show is doing really well. I can't imagine anyone going, yeah, I'm out. I mean, unless something on production is bad, and we haven't heard anything like that. So I don't know. Anybody you would want to see leave the show? I can't think of anybody other than maybe I'd be okay if Lucy didn't come back for the next season. Yeah. Any thoughts on that?
Ooh, no.
Lucy, yes, Lucy, if she's still going to be that annoying.
I don't know. I think all the characters to me right now are pretty integral to the show at the moment, especially with all the storylines going on. Is there anybody we could lose, Paigey? Anyone that could go away?
Oh, that dickhead former mayor.
Okay.
Yeah,
enough.
him too.
Yeah, he could go away.
He's so forced.
Not even forced, just like he's a good antagonist, but it makes me angry whenever I see him.
Naruto here with the Team Eric member chat. Legends of Tomorrow stuff is starting to be auctioned off. I would assume Batwoman's going to be soon as well.
Oh,
if anybody wants,
Eric,
what
the shake weight, will you buy it?
Absolutely, 100%.
What about the microphone that Cisco used? Not Cisco Ramon, but SISQO to perform Thong Song. If that is auctioned off, will you buy it?
Maybe. Do they even put that stuff up online?
Maybe you can get a physical being, a physical auctioneer, physical buyer.
I didn't know if they did that online.
They might. Maybe it might go on eBay or something.
Maybe.
I just want Gary's outfits.
Or what about the fake nipple?
I'd hang that in my room right on the wall.
I would want Eric to eat it on stream.
By the way, we have people on both Twitch and YouTube talking, but you guys can't. I can see the chat from both, but the two.
That's the punishment if he loses the dare, if he loses the challenge or whatever.
Oh, really? Is that what it is?
Nipple eating live.
Wow.
So, so I can see all your stuff here, but you guys can't. There's no crossovers in those worlds. It's
no 10th anniversary crossover.
Two different.
You know something.
That was so wrong because now there's none of the shows from the 10th anniversary will be airing the rest of this year. Stargirl arguably is, but I mean she's not going to.
Well, apparently,
all those videos. I just thought about
that.
this. All the videos and all the posts about a big 10th anniversary crossover.
Paigey did try to tell them that several times.
Well, it's also my fault because I started it as well, but I started it last year.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, next year's the 10th anniversary. And that was before 2 shows were cancelled. Supergirl had ended, I think, and whatever it was.
Black Lightning.
Superman and Lois went laters.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's that reality is setting in with that.
I think Ben made 17,000? Maybe 1,700 videos since then involving 10th anniversary crossover in the title.
Okay, so let's move on and talk about Jonathan. Now, Jonathan is a character that I heard a lot of people complaining about because they said he didn't get a lot this season. And
which Jonathan? Not
Jonathan L. Jonathan, just regular Jonathan.
But then we still have Jonathan Irons.
I know, but I would call him John Henry. But Jonathan, they said he didn't get a lot. But I would argue, to be completely honest, that Jonathan set up pretty much all of the big stuff that happened in the back half of the season. I mean, XK was such a huge storyline. He had that addiction storyline, which even though it was resolved before the mid-season, it was a pretty big storyline on the show. And then in the back half, we had the stuff with Jonathan L., which I think they decided that was more important. Because you got to remember, guys, when these actors are playing 2 versions of themselves, they are pulling double duty on set. So they decided that Jonathan L. was the more important character to focus on, and that regular Jonathan from, their Earth was the one that they were like, well, he can just chill for a bit and we're going to focus on Jonathan L. So it seems like normal Jonathan did not get a ton in the back half, but Jonathan L. was in quite a lot. So I quite enjoyed the beginning of his journey. I thought the addiction storyline was done really well. I was worried about it in the beginning of the season. I thought it could go very cringe, but I enjoyed the journey and I thought it was good. I think a lot of people were just missing him in the back half of the season. And I can understand that. But I still think he got a decent amount of content. Is there anything you would have added to his storyline? Do you think they could have done more with him in the back half, or do you think they balanced it out the best way they could with Jonathan?
Did it seem to you guys like him using the XK like it just wore off so fast, but with others it lasted longer? Like, it just seemed to me like that came.
You mean with Jonathan's powers? Like
yeah.
Like
it seemed like his just came and went, but with other people, the powers lasted longer, and he was using them. Even when we didn't see him doing it, he was still using them, and we're led to believe that he used them for a while until he got caught.
I didn't think about that. It's a good question. I don't know. I actually had hoped that it was going to trigger something in his DNA and just give him powers. That's what I was hoping was going to happen. Clearly, that's not the direction they wanted to go, because then they couldn't have told the Jonathan L storyline with the flip where Jordan doesn't have powers, but Jonathan does. So I'm not totally sure. Were you happy with his story, Paige? Do you feel like there was anything missing from it as well? Like anything they could have done?
No, I was going to say maybe they could have had some random person that Jonathan was friends at just tell him that he had a mutation towards the end of the season.
Maybe. Do you feel like he
Joe just went over everyone's heads? Okay, whatever.
No, I got it, but I don't want to spoil. I don't want to spoil something that we're not talking about. It didn't go over my head.
Oh, you were fine spoiling Morbius the other week, but that's where you.
I'm not trying to get canceled for that.
I don't think anyone's going to get cancel you. By the way, I need to know what is on your hat. It's giving me the shits not knowing. Shicked? Oh, sicked?
Like the Wolverine sound. So I'm repping.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's pulled from the comic. So whatever sound.
I know. Sick doesn't work. Anyway, in regards to
just
what was
Jonathan,
the question? Ask it again.
Jonathan, would you have done something different with him? Do you feel like he was missing?
In like the back half when he sort of just stands there like a statue. I would have had it that he had a subplot in some way where he's still curious about the Kryptonite, about where it went, because I feel like that's gonna come up again next season, because they didn't finish that storyline. So why didn't they have Jonathan? Even if it was like after Superman loses his powers, even if it's for the final couple of episodes, he looks into it because it's like he sees that as like a viable method. But then again, it was in the mines still. That's the issue. I think because it was in the mines, you couldn't do that. I don't know. It's a bit of a... I don't know.
Scott Edwards, what I know. Will we get an Armageddon type event in season 9?
We are getting, I think it's Cecile Con. I think that's just what it's called, Cecile Con. So it's like San Diego Comic Con, but it's pain and torture to the brain and the eyes for... I don't think they're doing 5 episodes like Armageddon was, but I'd expect at the very least 3. So like Elseworlds.
Right.
But Eric Wallace did say he wants to do something. But like with everything,
and Eric Wallace is cameoing as Cecile's lover as well.
Hey, but it's not really a cameo because it's happening for real.
Right.
Well, it's not like when memes come dreams. Or dreams. What do you want to call it?
But take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Did you change watch colors this week, Eric? Or was it always red and blue?
I have multiple multiple.
Okay, we don't need you to flex once again. You flexed before stream. Don't need it during the stream as well.
Martin here with a 1999 super chat. Just wanted to show my support because unfortunately I won't be able to do tonight's timestamps because I'm at a camp, but I'll make sure to do them tomorrow. Well, thank you, Martin. I appreciate that. For all the work you do for me and for all the super chats you give. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And have a good time at camp. Don't stress out about it.
I'm going to delegate Giovanni for the
are you?
Week.
Yeah. Mike Glenn here with the 1-9 super chat. Show hates Jonathan every story. He's miserable.
I wouldn't say that.
You want me to add a little bit to this, though? I think the reason why is because he kind of is, though, right? Isn't he? I mean, he came from Metropolis, where he was like the star football player, and his life was great there. And then he comes to Smallville. Yeah. I mean, I think there is a little bit of miserable in there. I do think there is.
But it's
honestly
meant to be.
I think it's intentional, yes. I do hope that in season 3, we get to see him sort of break away from that and maybe tell something else. But you're not wrong, Mike. I mean, he is kind of miserable, but not, and I don't think in every story, but in a lot of them.
I want him to get, his own focused story, but unlike so many other people on social media, and yes, I may get canceled for this, I don't want that story, if you get what I mean.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what I don't know what their plans are. But
What story is that? I have no idea what you're referring to.
Son of Kal-El, that story, you know.
I don't think the show doesn't seem to me like it's going in that direction.
Where he's gay.
Yeah, or bisexual. I think he's bisexual.
I don't.
Well, he's
feel
with
as if
another
that
dude.
Would be,
Like, that's
that
the
would be
story,
too
isn't it?
forced. It would be forced.
Well, no, I think
and random to me.
I don't think that'll happen because it seemed like the actor was uncomfortable with it, and I think you got to follow the actor's wishes.
I think though that that storyline is about a different version of this. Like, I don't think this character feels like it's going.
It's meant to be an older version, isn't it? As well.
Yeah. He's almost like he's.
Well, he's Superman, isn't he?
Yeah, he's Superman at that point, I believe. So
because of a wormhole.
But I think that story feels more I don't know, Elseworldsy to me in the context of Superman and Lois. And also I don't know if that would serve the plot of the show, because it just doesn't seem like they're going that direction. I feel like if they were going to do something like that, they should have started setting it up in the first season. We'll see. Mike Glenn with the fact that he's bisexual, the same way you would set up any romantic character.
Yeah, also, it's just like that he like talks
do it like
to
Alex.
Like, what?
Do it like Alex Danvers' story.
No, that was weird. I appreciate they did it.
Did they even do Alex Danvers in a straight relationship before? They didn't, did they?
I don't think they did.
Because Maggie Sawyer came in season 2.
I just remember it being like this storyline where they spent a lot of time on it, and I thought it was not as well handled as it could have been. I appreciate that they did it. I didn't. Well,
I think because Maggie left, it sort of like put like a issue with that story.
It did, because they were setting up something big with that, and
yeah,
they thought she was in it for the long haul,
and then she was like, happen. No, was it like
right
FBI or something?
Yeah, but no, I mean a character being set up with
Maxwell
being bisexual, being gay.
She was with Maxwell Lord, apparently.
Oh, that's true, right? Yeah, that is true.
Your favorite character?
Yeah,
she was. I forgot.
I don't think. Well, everybody forgot about Maxwell Lord.
Yeah, I didn't. The showrunner.
I don't think setting him up as a character who is bisexual would be any different than setting up any other character. I mean, he could just talk about it or mention it, or we could see him like a certain way he looks at a character or something. It's all nuanced stuff. I just don't feel like that this version is going in that direction. I don't think they're setting that up. It doesn't feel like they're setting that up. So I don't think we're going there. We might. I don't know.
Oh no, there could be a locker room scene where it gets a bit saucy or something. You never know.
Mike Glenn with the $4.99 super chat. Superman's power is based on biology. See, I've argued about this before, but I always get shot down. I don't understand how you can be 50% of something and literally have no powers. Because we established in the beginning of the season that they said that a character that is exhibiting powers would not be as strong as a Kryptonian, but would still have powers. So I just don't understand how one of the kids would.
But maybe that 50% is on like the other side, if that makes sense, where it takes longer for them to come out.
I mean, maybe, but I just don't see that he wouldn't be somewhat like, I could see him not being like Jordan powerful, but to not have any powers whatsoever. Like,
I think they should have done something where like he gets cut or something sharp hits him, he doesn't get injured. Something like that. But then again, there was those weird things, or like when he broke his arm, it healed really quickly. Or
I read somewhere, and maybe the chat can correct me, isn't it because he actually broke his arm in real life? Wasn't that what happened?
Yeah.
He hurt his arm in real life or something like that?
Did he?
Yeah, he broke his arm in real life.
Doing what?
I don't know.
Fighting his Kryptonian brother? I have no idea. Scott here with the $4.99 super chat. What heroes from other shows do you think we might see return for the final season, if anyone? Who do you want? So I guess we're talking about the Flash. That's not confirmed yet, honestly. We'll talk about that when we get to David Ramsey stuff. But if we're talking about hypothetical final season, I think we've already told like an Eobard story. I might want to see like young Eobard, like maybe an origin story. I don't know if we'll ever get that, but I would love to see something like that.
And Godspeed,
maybe. I feel like Godspeed's been exhausted at this point, though, right? I mean,
what about
Red Death?
I don't know.
You could probably pick anyone. There'd be some sort of excitement, unless they're just bad to begin with. Like,
I will say this: before the show ends, I want to see Wally West come back to the show. That's kind of my big one. So I think I would love to see Keenan come back to the show. So
I want to see Black Lightning come to the show and just
that's a good choice.
Have a good good storyline.
That's a great choice. Victor DiCincello with a $4.99 super chat. It goes, will Jonathan get powers or will do flip because he becomes Steel using Kryptonian technology as their character? Okay, so initially I thought that he was gonna like become Steel because we saw back in season 1. I thought that was the direction they're going. But now that Natalie is wearing a suit and John Henry is wearing a suit, I think giving Jonathan a suit would be like Iron Man family. And I don't know if they're gonna do that or not. So I think he might be
Shaq.
the guy in the chair. He might be the computer guy that works back in the fortress and does like stuff.
Cisco?
Not a Cisco per se, because Cisco is a genius, but I think he might actually be someone that starts using Kryptonian tech to make things.
Well,
Like,
actually, I heard a rumor
stuff like that
he'll find an empty room in Smallville High and start a wall of weird. That's I know that might be a false rumor. I'm not too sure. And then he's going to cut his hair, or he's going to grow his hair out into like maybe like shoulder, maybe just below the ear length.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe dye it like really light blonde.
Daz here with the $5 super chat. Possible hot take. Reverse Flash gets less and less cool every time. I don't think it's a hot take. I've seen people say this before. There's a lot of people that have said that Tom Cavanaugh has progressively been downhill since like Earth X. So I don't know. Is this a hot take for you guys? Do you agree or disagree with this?
Wait, what's it? Reverse Flash gets less and less cool every time he shows up. No, he's probably one of the coolest he's been towards the end of season 8. So no.
What about you, Lance?
I understand people do get fatigued by the same villain, but my hot take is you guys don't say that about the Joker when he shows up in every single Batman iteration. I honestly don't think people would say that if they got Matt Letcher in the suit all the time. Like it's the same character, but they're just acted differently. So Tom Cavanaugh is doing what he's doing what he's always done, and he had to dial it up. I think people just are annoyed that it wasn't Matt Letcher.
Right. Any other thoughts on that? Good. We good to go?
All
right, let's move on. People talk about a lack of storyline. Let's talk about the character that I think suffered the most this past season from a lack of storyline, and that is Lois.
Yep.
I think
Jinx.
Lois honestly had the least amount of storyline this season. Now, I'm not saying she didn't have good moments. I went through each episode, and you could pick out times where she got a lot to do in a scene. But as far as a storyline, the only real storyline we had with Lois came towards the end of the season where she was accused of keeping secrets from everyone, and then she started to like make amends and kind of tell people the truth and open up about that. That's really the only storyline that she had, and I don't really understand why that was, because I know a lot was happening, but in season 1 they managed to give her a lot of really good stuff to do, even when things were kind of falling apart. This season it didn't feel that way, and I believe part of that was being sidetracked by the Lucy story with Allie. I think that was the biggest problem. Lucy came in and it immediately stalled like Lois's story, and that was our connection with the Allie stuff. Thoughts on that?
Yep.
Do you agree? Disagree?
Yeah. It's pretty much it. At least Lois didn't get time sickness.
I'm just gonna say it. I agree wholeheartedly, and it's a proven fact that Todd Helbing
is edgy.
Can't really write female characters like
that's pretty much every Arrowverse showrunner. To be completely honest, though, even the Supergirl where the female was the lead character.
They're not good at it. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, I honestly felt like Lois did the same thing Jonathan did. When Jordan was getting the living snot beat out of him in the school, with Clark getting beat over the head as well, her and Jonathan stood there and just screamed, "Stop it! Stop it!" She literally did the Cecile scream just without grabbing the head.
So I do see some people arguing that Lois did have a storyline. Tell me what it was. Because it facilitated Lucy, it facilitated Allie, and it was part of the Lana thing at the end of the season. Other than that, I can't think of anything Lois did that serviced Lois as a character. Because that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that serves her as a character and it doesn't happen until the very end of the season, and it's very late. Like, it just happens very, very late.
It's like Eric's usual DoorDash orders, very late.
Maybe sometime. Okay, so we also had the Bizarro flip where we thought it was Doomsday, ended up being Bizarro, and that character got eliminated very early in the season, but still had a big impact on the season, and I think a lot of people still really cared for that character. I saw a lot of folks claiming that would have been a better antagonist for the whole season, but I completely disagree. I don't think that version of Clark was the same as a normal Bizarro character. We got to see what led him to what he was doing and that he was trying to do the right thing. I think, yes, I was surprised to see him be eliminated so early, but I think in the sense, again, double duty from the actors. That's the big deal. The other thing is, I don't know if he would have been a believable villain by the end of the season. If we wanted to continue with the Alley storyline, it wouldn't have lined up. So I feel like it was good. I don't think he could have been a season-long villain, but I do appreciate the switch they did to us when they made us think it was Doomsday and then it was Bizarro. What do y'all think? Should he stay the whole season? General thoughts on the Bizarro storyline?
I don't think he should have stayed all season. I do think maybe there should have been another twist towards the end of the season with a more physical threat, but they instead took away Superman's powers instead. So, which, you know, at the end of the day, I'm fine with anyway. But that was the probably thing I was surprised with. There wasn't another twist from that twist, from the original twist.
So you were hoping for like a second reveal from that?
Well, or a third reveal.
Okay.
Yeah. Talk about a triple decker.
Maybe four. Maybe a fourth.
No,
reveal.
too much. You've ruined it. Too much.
Lance, general thoughts on Bizarro? Did you like how it was handled? Did you appreciate the flip? Did you want to see Doomsday?
Honestly, I was excited to see Doomsday. I blame Pagey for that because his video, and then, you know, I saw it and I'm like, oh my God, they're doing it.
Oh, no.
Doomsday. And then the next week they're like,
sorry for being the registered hype man.
But
why don't they hire me for advertising at the city? just during the ads, play like 30 seconds of one of my videos or something. Or put a Ben title, one of the two. It's probably gonna.
That'll work. That'll get a lot.
Don't play Ben's video; they'll be disappointed. But just the title.
But I thought it was a good twist. I thought he left too soon. I found it underwhelming. Like, you get choked out by a guy that then goes to die like 3 episodes later.
30 seconds of a car review. But in this edition, Eric flips the car. That's where it cuts off.
Always something, right? Why is it always got to be violence against me? I don't understand.
Because you're doing a review in your car while driving.
It's not like I'm editing it in the car.
You may as well be. You're reading notes. You're looking down.
I am worried. I'm worried like 95% of the time because I'm like, oh my God.
You're gonna get this thing where it's gonna be on like Virginia news. A car is flipped on the XY motorway.
At least I go out with a good story, right? I mean, that's
well, no, it could be a terrible episode of The Flash. It could be another Allegra episode.
Oh God,
he was reviewing.
That would be even funnier, though, right?
Well, I don't know. Would you want that died with Allegra in his mind?
I'm gonna put this in my phone. Please upload this clip whenever this happens.
What, with you flipping?
Yeah. Wow. Please upload the clip.
Or from the episode. Maybe you can upload the clip from the episode you're ranting about.
Maybe.
It's Allegra defeating Darkseid with her powers.
Uh-oh.
Oh gosh. Any other stuff on Bizarro before we move on?
He shouldn't have been killed by Anderson.
Right. Okay.
And they made it too obvious that he was going to be weak. Like, I hate when they do the obvious, oh, I'm going to blow some kryptonite in his face, so he's going to be really, really weak.
Pixie dust.
And then the other guy just powers up. And then at the end of the day, he goes to die like 3 episodes later. So I'm like, that was underwhelming.
So I have a question here, right? So Bizarro was gassing up on kryptonite. Because that was making him.
I think the term is roiding.
Maybe.
Roid munching.
Anderson was using XK, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Shouldn't they technically have canceled each other out because that stuff was in their system? It was in their blood and in their body. which technically means if they were close enough to each other, it would have affected them both negatively, right?
Why?
Because it's a chemical, it's a mineral, it's a rock, it's in your system.
Yeah.
So if they're standing close to someone after inhaling a bunch of it, it would still be in their system. Kryptonite just has to be close to Superman.
Yeah.
It's in their entire body.
But does kryptonite affect
No.
like fake Kryptonians? I don't think
No,
they've ever
doesn't.
established
You have
that.
to be from Krypton.
What do you mean fake Kryptonians?
People on XK aren't real.
Oh,
Kryptonians.
maybe not, but he was using XK already when he was fighting Bizarro. So at least Bizarro would have been affected by the XK. It was in his system.
True.
Yeah.
So whether he got hit with XK, like he inhaled it or whatever, it was already in.
But I think I think it's something
system.
similar to where, like, if Kryptonite's somewhat covered, because it isn't meant to be like the actual energy that the kryptonite exudes that affects Superman or Kryptonians. So it could be in the general area, but if it's not directly like in sight or exposed, it doesn't really affect them. Isn't that usually how it works? Maybe it jumps from interpretation. I think it jumps from interpretation to interpretation.
It does. But my whole point being is that, say for example, you had Clark Bizarro Superman, who's been using kryptonite to be powered up. I feel like just being close to our Superman, like this close to him with that in his system, could have possibly made him weaker.
You know what they should have done? They should have done like garlic breath, how they do that in the cartoons. He just goes, and it's just this green gas comes out. It's like, what the hell? You've been eating kryptonite, you weirdo.
Yeah, so Daz says it's the radiation, right? It is the radiation. That's the whole point, which is why having it in their system should technically still affect them, because it would still be radiating.
Or if they like fart or something like that.
Well, just in general. Like when you go to Chernobyl and you walk around, there's just radiation because that material is still there. Meaning if the material's in their body, like if you're standing next to a person that has radiation sickness, you can still get sick from them. So I feel like it's I don't know if it's that bad. I have no idea. But we'll see. I don't know. It's just a thought that passed my mind. Let's talk about General Anderson, because he was a new addition to the show, taking over, and he had a quite interesting storyline. He started out as like an antagonist of Superman.
Really quickly.
Yeah, pretty much. He had the antagonist of Superman, made his life a living hell, pretty much.
He was so annoying.
Yeah, and basically just impeded everything. He was kind of that middle character where he's not quite the villain, but he makes everything harder for the good guys and for the good characters. And then he ends up getting the storyline where he believes in Allie, goes over there, and then sacrifices himself. And Paige, one of the things you said was you and not just you, but just other people said it wasn't totally clear that they killed him off until they said they killed him off, because he was basically a Kryptonian level character who was fighting other people with powers, and you would think he could heal from a severe injury. So
yeah, it's just that we went to the floor and I was like, oh, okay. But it's just one of those things where it's like,
what happened to Anderson? Like a lot of people
like obviously the Bizarro Anderson got, burnt to the,
we knew that. Yeah.
Burnt to the bone.
But the Anderson from regular Earth was,
well, yeah, he's just like, it looked like it's like they did like a whole like crunching sound, but it wasn't like his head got ripped off or something like that. So I was like, well, maybe
it's a broken bone.
Well, a couple of ribs or something like that.
That's what I thought, Lance. I was like, it's pretty clear to me that he's dead, but a lot of people said we don't know for sure.
Okay, talk it up. Oh, it was right at the entire.
But his storyline was serviceable. Like, I don't think he was this great character that we're going to remember. Like,
it was like and they redeemed him in some way towards the end, where it felt like it happened really quickly. That I think that's probably the why I had that weird reaction. Like, is he really dead? Because it felt like if they'd done like the previous episode and there was more time in between, like this redemption from him, where he wanted to actually help, and then he died, I'd be like, okay, well, he's dead probably. But I think just because it happened like 5 minutes after, really, like him and Superman sort of were like, hey, we're all good.
Pretty much. So this is a good question, but I think I have an answer, and you guys can tell me if you agree or disagree. I think first of all that Clark was using it all the time, and he was already a Kryptonian. I think that's the reason why it affected him differently, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. I think it's like how you can tell someone's been on meth for a certain amount of years and someone who's just started.
Yeah. Sean, we don't really know. We don't have much of a
I don't know why it had like the weird marks or something like that. I wish
Yeah.
they'd explain that because it's sort of like, I think there was like a part later in the season where there was something similar that showed up and it sort of looked like those markings, but I wish they'd explain exactly why they had those markings and why he went all zombie looking and everything like that.
Yeah.
Can you hear that noise?
Very vaguely.
Is anybody
Okay.
cutting grass?
It's either they're either lining up the lawn or they're chopping down something or hedging something. I'm not too sure.
Yeah. We also had the Supermen of America. If you guys remember those characters that were in the show for like a split second, which was Tag and
Eric,
other people. So
Eric, can you stop being so offensive? It was the Super People of America. There was a female there.
It was actually
seriously. It's 2022. Wake up! Like what
I
are you
didn't
doing?
give him the name.
Look,
I wasn't the one that named
do you think
them.
I care? Do you think I care? Line up.
But they were basically superheroes that were sanctioned by the government. So they were flying around, playing Superman, Superwoman, Supergirl, whatever, flying around doing.
Don't give
things.
Ben those ideas.
I mean, basically they were government sanctioned super people. That was what they were. But they were very short lived. And I don't know if they only had them in the show to pay off the Tag storyline from season 1 or what the purpose was. Because I don't really see what they served in the story.
I think it was just to give Anderson the push for him to take the ex-Kryptonite and to have a vendetta against Bizarro.
So you think that was their entire purpose, was just to service this storyline?
Roughly. There might be something that happens in next season. We don't know.
Yeah.
But at least based off this season, I think that was why. It was pretty much just like to give Anderson like some sort of personal motivation and vendetta specifically against Bizarro, but also hold it against Superman as well.
Because they're wearing the Superman, the sigil, the crest on the
sigil?
Sigil.
Tag is the Flash confirmed?
Really?
No, Tag is Max Mercury confirmed.
Yeah.
I thought Tag was.
Wait, did they call him Tag?
Confirmed.
Did they call him Tag because when you play Tag, you run around? Is that?
I don't think.
I need to get into the mind of Todd Helbing with that name.
Maybe
choice.
I don't know.
I wouldn't put that past him.
So Elizabeth says, "Is he still alive?" Only 2 of them died. Yeah, he's still around. He was in the hospital.
So. He's been there for a while. His
injuries
have yet to heal. Yes.
Oh wow. Okay,
that's why General Lane doesn't know that it's another super person.
I can't wait till we get to that because that was some drama online this week for sure. Then we had the Natalie and John Henry stuff, which I forget that we got her back at the beginning of the season, and it feels like that was so long ago. Honestly, it was actually if you look at when the show came out this year. But we had the Natalie and John Henry stuff.
That's when it was on Earth Prime,
right? It was kind of uneven. I think their storyline was a little bit uneven, but what we got from them, I really liked. They're still 2 of my favorite characters on the show. I think Natalie is probably one of the best additions to the show. And I'm really excited to see where they go and where they're going to take their storyline, because ultimately the storyline between these characters was less about John Henry and more about Natalie. Because even though John did have a few things that pushed him forward as a character, Natalie was the one that had to acclimate to this new world, to seeing someone that looked like her mother that wasn't her mother for the first time, which we covered with John in season 1. So I think a lot of it was her storyline this season. And what do you think of Natalie overall? Because I know everybody loves John Henry, but what did you think of Natalie in this season and her storyline? Were you happy to see her suit up? Do you think it would make more sense for her not to go out in the line of fire, considering everything that she's been through? What do you think?
I like her. She was a welcome addition to the show. Being that the stinger at the end of the season 1 finale, I was excited to see what she would bring. They did a good balance of giving us that teen angst with her, learning what all she was dealing with, being on this new Earth. They didn't make it annoying.
Right.
So it worked. Like, I was invested in her character week in and week out, and finally seeing her suit up, which I was hoping she would, because, well, she is a variant of Natasha from the comics. So I was hoping to see her suit up. I'm glad to see that she kept some of those character attributes, and I can't wait to see more of her.
Okay.
I just want the comic accurate suits for both of them. I just want to see the S. And
I had hoped we would get something like that in this season.
It
and I know
just looks like a Lexo suit.
I even asked Paige, I think it was at the end of last season, maybe, when I said, do you think that we're going to get the cape? And you were like, you didn't think it would work on the show, or it wouldn't look right on the show for John Henry. Is that what you said? Something along those lines?
Yeah.
So do you still feel that way?
Probably just because we're now 2 seasons in and doesn't have it, but I don't know. Maybe they're just, especially when you think about how his suit works, like a cape coming out, like I don't know if it would, how it like breaks apart and then joins with him. I don't know if a cape would 100% work. Yeah.
What if the cape was nanotech? Then he could do cape tricks with the suit.
No, the cape works with nanotech. We saw it with Supergirl.
Ooh.
And if you really want to be technical, when they do the phone booth thing, how does that work, Paigey? Huh?
What?
How did he put? How did Clark put that whole entire suit on, cape and all, when he was just a regular man? All right, that cape's heavy. All right, I think a cape could work on a metal suit. I don't know where it would click in at, but I think it'll work.
No, you got to think about the hydraulics and everything like that. It wouldn't shoot out.
Okay, so I want to. This is my pitch for how he gets the cape. Are we ready? Ready for this?
I've got an idea.
Yeah, go ahead.
Rips it off Clark's back.
It's like the inside. So when you skin an animal.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna get dark.
Where's this going?
He skins someone.
Oh my god.
Oh gosh, no. Okay, so here's my storyline. He creates a sentient organic cape that levitates, right? And this cape has its own mind and it flies around and it does stuff on its own.
Yeah.
And then
Dr.
the cape. I think I've seen this somewhere before.
Oh no, this is in
own, so.
that's in Flubber. That happens in Flubber. No, you can't.
And then
Disney would sue.
And then the cape comes back to him, right? But then they have an argument. So then the cape gets destroyed, right? The cape destroyed. Yeah. Then he finds another cape. He takes that cape, but then his cape comes back, reforms, and finds another person. And then there's like this love triangle between him and his new cape and his old cape, where they have to argue all the time because his new cape is jealous that he wants his old cape back.
Oh wait, that's Ace Ventura. You can't keep copying all these movies.
I have a better idea. An actual logical one, and not a Thor: Love and Thunder thing. So have you seen the that animated Avengers movie where it's their kids?
I've seen. I was gonna say something really dodgy. Then I won't say it.
Well, anyway, Captain America and Black Widow's son in that cartoon, he has a hollow shield. What if they give him like a holographic type cape?
See, this is the thing we're forgetting. What's the fucking point?
Because it will be sexy. All right,
it wouldn't. It'd probably lead to death.
Sexy.
Have you not watched The Incredibles? No capes. Obviously, John Henry has.
Get sucked into a plane.
Wait, on his earth, it might be called the Outcredibles.
No. What if in the off season, the old Superman from his Earth found him, but he killed him and stole his cape?
What if wasn't bad?
What if didn't get a season 2?
Oh, no. All right.
What if Eric
Yeah.
continued on with the show because I hate this section.
All right. Let's talk about something else that people hate, and that's Allie as the villain for this season.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about someone else.
No. We're talking about Allie here. So
gonna
a lot
say
of the
Chrissy.
complaints about Allie was that Allie was not a fleshed out character, that it was very confusing, and that we did not get enough of that character, and that she was kind of a generic I'm doing evil stuff, even though she was telling the truth the entire time from beginning to end. The only thing that ever happened is she let the power go to her head, which is evil, but everything she was telling her followers on both Earths was the truth. She was revealing the truth. So they say it doesn't present itself as a good antagonist character because of that situation. Thoughts on Allie? Did we get enough of her? Should they have changed it? Was she a good character as Parasite or no? Because I think we should have had at least one more episode of Allie on Bizarro Earth, and we probably should have understood her motivations a little bit better. That's my complaint.
They needed to jump into the history of the pendants. Like, I think that's one thing they clearly missed. Why she knew from the get-go what she had to do with them.
True.
If her father had tried to do anything with them, and maybe even if Superman had come across them before or something like that, or had learned or heard about them, or if there was anyone else, whatever it might be. I don't even think it's one episode. I think they wasted time with Allie on screen, just wasted some episodes not diving into that. I think that's the clear misstep of the season. Like, why have these pendants, make them so mysterious and make them such a big thing, and then not really explain exactly the history of them?
I thought they were going to tell us when they did that at the beginning of the episode, where we got to see like her getting the pendant and like.
Well, that's the reason why I didn't necessarily know if we're going to get that episode, but that made me think we're going to get some answers from that point.
And then nothing.
Yeah. And they could have even told the story from the Bizarro World perspective they wanted to as well.
Yeah, because it could have been similar to the one we on our.
Which means they could have their own sort of, law and everything, and their own timeline in the Bizarro World. So they could, even if they go, oh, well, yeah, that happened in the Bizarro World, but just like the whole pendant thing was somewhat similar to what happened to Earth, not Earth Prime, I guess, but this Allie, the normal Allie.
I agree. Anything you want to add to that, Lance, about Allie?
Well, I didn't really care for her regardless.
Right.
She was it just felt like to me she was a placeholder villain because they needed one there. She needed to be fleshed out more. And I get he was trying to play with the lore because Supergirl had already did Parasite, but it just felt like too little too late. As you got towards the end, it just felt kind of rushed,
like they rushed it,
and underdeveloped, very underdeveloped. And the actress just wasn't menacing for me. She just came off as, well, kind of a nuisance and like, okay, get away from me.
So maybe it's just me, but I didn't understand her motivations.
I did not either.
Like, I didn't know if it's because she truly wanted to bring the worlds together, if she wanted to rule the worlds, if she wanted everybody to have power. I don't understand what her motivation was.
It honestly doesn't seem like she had any. If you remember when Lois asked, did you feel whole? And she basically said no. So I'm like, then why did you keep going?
Yeah.
Like, she was merged for a few days. So why did you keep going?
I agree.
Like, if you didn't feel whole, which Allie was in charge on the inside of that, and you're just so gung-ho on your plan.
I actually think one of the big issues was that we had to split off kind of like the quote-unquote villain time with like Anderson, with Lucy, with Allie, with all of these characters. We're sharing sort of that, like, this is the spot we need for these characters. I also believe that sharing time with Bizarro characters took away from character development from some characters. And I think Allie was a big one because, like Paige was saying, they could have just told that story about that Allie, and we could have just ran with that, because then that would have at least given us like one half of what was going on. So I don't know. All right, moving on. Let's talk about Jordan, who had a big journey in the back half of the season, whereas Jonathan had the stuff in the beginning. Jordan was pretty much dealing with the fact that Sarah cheated on him in camp. That was his story in the beginning, which didn't really go anywhere. I mean, it did a little bit, and then it just kind of went away because then he got blamed. Like, she cheated on him, but then she was mad at him because he wasn't giving her a lot of attention. I thought
they call that.
Yeah, it was just weird. Like, Sarah and Jordan's storyline to me was pretty much the same storyline until Jordan started to really use his powers in the end of the season. And then we got some really good stuff with Jordan and Clark at the end of the season. But I thought like they had Sarah acting so angry about stuff that probably, I mean, I guess it could have been real life, but it didn't look good for her because she was like, okay, I cheated. I kept it from you. Then I told you, but now you have to get over it on my time. You have to get over it because I want you to. Because this person's going to be a part of my life, even though they never apologized for doing it. And there was no ramifications for that. And then she breaks up with him because he wasn't spending any time with her, which granted, yes, he was doing his own little stuff and whatnot, but you cheated on him. And then you forced him to basically forgive you because you wanted to hang out with this person that you kissed behind his back. Like, it was really, really weird. But luckily we get out of that whole angsty storyline and get into like Jordan actually being Superboy and actually doing some good stuff, which I really appreciated. I think Jordan's storyline and Sarah's storyline got better once they got away from that drama.
Yeah.
Is that fair? Would you agree with that? Disagree with that?
I agree.
What about you, Paigey? Did you
Si, senor.
I see the people in the comment section saying like she's just a teenager and stuff, but I don't. I get that, but at the same time, it just came off to me as CW teenage drama just for the sake of teenage drama.
So let me ask this question to the chat: are we willing to just say that they can write characters and make them awful based on their age? Is that what we're saying? Because that's the only way you can forgive that if you say that. I think even though I'm older, when I was younger, I knew we manipulated our parents when we were kids. We know what manipulation is. We understand what it is. I don't think she misunderstood what she was doing. She was twisting his arm. This wasn't like she didn't understand what she was doing in that moment. So we can't just be like, oh, she's just a teenager. Yes, they make bad decisions, but when you manipulate somebody else's feelings, I don't care how old you are. They
made it worse when they had Lana say, "Oh, well, if he can't forgive you, then he doesn't deserve you." Yeah. You still haven't forgiven your husband
for cheating.
Like, come on. The boy has a anxiety disorder. What are we doing? Like,
but sure, she's just a teenager. It's okay if she does that. No, it's not okay. What were you going to say, Paigey?
No, I was just going to say, like, when you're young, you just have don't have a proper grasp of understanding certain things and how people feel. So while Sarah was in the wrong, you know, we can go, okay, well, she was in the wrong. I can understand why she felt the way that she did. And you can understand why Jordan felt the way that he did as well.
I just don't see, like, fair enough about the whole cheating thing about her, like, not telling him and then waiting to tell him. I get that. That all makes sense to me. The issue I have with that storyline starts from the moment that she gives him an ultimatum. That's not a relationship. You don't tell someone you have to get over something that I did right now. Because if you don't, then I'm going to walk away. Because in that moment, you're manipulating them. You don't tell them that. If they don't forgive you, then you walk away. You can't make someone do that. That's not healthy. And the fact that that was never addressed seems really weird to me, considering she knew Jordan's mental state. She understood. And by the way, Jordan felt bad about all of it. Half of that beginning season was him feeling bad about it. He tried to write her a letter because he was so worried about what was happening while there was some other drama going on. He was very messed up by all of this. It affected him in a really bad way, and Sarah saw what it was doing to him.
Yep.
So it's not like she didn't see the effects of it. She saw the effects of it. She knew what was happening. And then she still broke up with him when she knew all of this stuff was going on. Like, just because we didn't see it on screen doesn't mean it wasn't happening. Clearly, he was reaching out to her. Clearly, he was calling her. Clearly, there was some kind of communication trying to happen between the two of them. So, and yeah, it's fine. If she wants to break up with him, that's on her. I think it was just really crappy the way they put her in that position, because I don't think Sarah deserves to necessarily be seen as the person that made all the bad choices. Right? Because we're willing to say, oh, you know, Jordan is justified in hiding a secret because of like the whole Superman thing. But then all of a sudden we're expecting that Sarah should have been different. You know what I mean? So I forgive her for all of that. I think it's fine. She kept it a secret and she told him when she felt like it was right to do it. But I just can't forgive her treating him the way she did after she basically gave him an ultimatum. And the only reason I say that is because I feel like that was a step too far. I honestly don't think they should have ever brought the character in that she kissed at camp. I think that was a big mistake in the show. It didn't need to happen. And it was unnecessary. They could have told the exact same story without doing that. I think that was a step too far for me from a writing standpoint. She could have easily broke up with him because he wasn't paying enough attention to her without the introduction of the girl from camp. That's just my take on it.
I agree.
So, but I love the stuff with them when they split up in the middle and then they got back together. It all was fine. I think the conversation they had in the finale was really good. I think ultimately it could be very healthy for them moving forward. Jordan seems to be very committed to making things work with her. He's very happy to tell her the truth. Let's hope that continues, because how many times has Joe said on The Flash, no more secrets? And then secrets just keep happening. So I'm hoping that
it's still very, the actress who plays Sarah is like 21 or something like that. And she's playing a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
I think she might be 22 now.
I think only a couple of them are actually like their
The guy that plays Jordan that was the drama in season 1, because I think he was underage when they had the first kissing scene.
Oh, yeah, there was drama about that.
I think there was drama behind that.
Yeah.
So I think he must be 18 now, maybe going on 19.
Multi-topic talk with the $5 super chat. Just giving some support. Can't wait to watch the playback to see what I missed. Do you guys think we may have a new Supergirl in future seasons? I do think that part of the reason why they did the split was because we are going to see a lot of characters, maybe even.
By the way, thanks, Daz. Didn't realize it was a TV show. I thought it was Big Brother.
Do you guys think we're going to see anybody from like Supergirl show up, or Supergirl herself? I think there's a big possibility of that happening. So
I think we're going to see Melissa Benoist aged down via very, very good MCU CGI.
What if they bring in the younger actress who played Supergirl when they did the Midvale?
Well, that's just gonna piss off fans. Like
I think a lot of fans liked her.
I can only see
I'm saying he's gonna piss them off because it's not the same Earth.
I can only see a couple of characters in Supergirl they're going to use doppelgangers. I think one of them would be maybe Jimmy Olsen.
He's gonna be too busy. He's a series regular on the Law and Order revival now.
Oh,
he's the well, I can't say this any.
Oh yeah, but I say that I mean like so. But I think like I'm not saying like regular. I mean like for an episode or two. Like they might go to Metropolis or something, and Jimmy Olsen's there.
Yeah.
Like it's that type of thing.
I'd love to see him back. Since this Superman is more bulky, it would actually balance out better.
Well, also, isn't he going to be in Mortal Kombat 2 when that comes out? The second Mortal Kombat movie?
Is anybody excited for that?
I watched like 15 minutes of the first one, then turned it off. So
okay. All right. So Naruto's got a $5 super chat here, and this is in reference to the interview with David Ramsey that we're going to be talking about very soon. We're almost done with the review of the season. This is the first time I've heard of Comic Chris, so I can't trust the messenger on this one. I've talked to him. I messaged him about this video before I ever recorded my video, and I can't say for certain if all of the information that he got is accurate, but I do believe that the interview was done. Do you feel the same way, Paige, that he actually talked to David Ramsey? Because you did a video on this as well.
Yeah.
So I won't say that, because there is some discrepancies. We'll get to those when we start talking about this. And things that he said that I don't necessarily believe that David Ramsey said. But we'll talk about that when we get to it. We'll see. Comic Chris is a pretty chill guy, though. I don't know if he would.
I think it's just up to interpretation. Me and Canada Graphs talked about it yesterday on his live stream. It could have been interpreted the wrong way. It could have just come off weird.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. We weren't there. So
like he's not like some random that just showing up. Like he's been around for ages. Like he's been around for.
He's been making videos for years. So
yeah, like I haven't talked to him directly. Like like hello Eric, or anything like that. But I've known him for ages.
Yeah, I messaged him on Twitter and told him I was going to do it on his video, and I just wanted to verify that everything he said, to talk about it and everything, and he said that was cool. So yeah. All right, so we're getting towards the end here. Let's talk about Clark this season, who had quite a Clark Superman journey. I will say that the beginning of the season was
there's a brand of rubber in Australia called Clark Rubber. They make shoes, and
I don't know why I would know that. So I don't.
Well, just it's mascot.
I know there's a brand of shoe called Clark. Is that the same?
Yeah, I think it's the same. Yeah, so it's Clark shoes and then Clark rubber.
Okay. See, if you would have said
Clark
shoe, I would
rubber,
have been like, okay.
And the platypus.
But we had several different little mini journeys with him. So at the beginning of the season, we had him dealing with not only this Bizarro story, but the Anderson stuff, where he was trying to make Superman commit to being, you are Superman of the United States of America. And he's like, no, I'm Superman of the world. Like, I protect everybody. And so we see all these scenes of him flying around protecting everyone. And this makes Anderson very mad. So that's what leads into that storyline. Then we have the stuff obviously on Bizarro Earth with his family over there and dealing with that. And then at the end, we get to deal with him basically telling Lana the truth, and that kind of reveal, which also leads into some family drama. And I was very satisfied with Clark's storyline of the season, leading all the way up to the end, where we got, this Superman who was supercharged from the sun, and split Alley apart and split the Earths apart, and we still don't know how that worked, but that's what happened. So I enjoyed Superman's journey this season quite a bit. Anything you guys want to add to that? Was there a particular moment in the season that you liked or disliked anything he did? I don't really have any complaints. It's just a little bit confusing how they wrapped it up at the end, but other than that,
I love his Clark. Like when when Jonathan got into the fight on the football field and he punched him and he had to like just fall out because, okay, I just can't take this punch from this kid. That's like, I love the clumsiness of Clark. I thought that was great. And everything with Superman was good. He's doing a really good job of trying to show a Superman that literally has the world on his shoulders from both ends, from family wise to actually day-to-day world saving. So I didn't really have any problems with Clark. I think him losing his powers fell into that trope of, oh, Barry's gonna be depowered every season. I hope we don't fall into that next,
because we did get it for a couple episodes in this season.
Yeah,
so.
I don't want to fall into that trope. But other than that, like I had no issues. He's always gonna be 10 out of 10 for me.
This is also a Clark that we've never seen before. Like, we've never had this version of Clark. Like, we've had the younger Clark a few times. We've had the up and coming Clark a few times, up and coming Superman. We've never seen a Superman with his family living in Smallville in this way of life. And Paige, you said, and we talked about this in the episode that happened in, the scene where he tells Lana is one of the most well shot, like, Superman scenes of all time, right? I mean, I feel like that particular whole sequence was beautiful, right? I mean, really well done.
Yes, Eric, you are correct in remembering that moment.
Yes,
of which I said that.
So I'm assuming that you have enjoyed Superman's story all season.
I've enjoyed most of the Clark and Superman stuff, and even like the Ken stuff as well. And there's more like this thought more like translates to my opinions on the season as a whole. I just felt like sometimes they're few and far between from each other. And you had a lot of stuff that just filled in those gaps. And you're like, oh, I want that more. I want that more. I want this more. And I saw someone say, oh, well, they do those moments to save budget. But the Clark moments don't require budget. Those Kent family moments don't require budget. And I felt like there was a lot of disconnection. I felt like
those are the cheapest shots. Anything shot in that house is really cheap to do.
So I'm hoping look, just in regards to this season, I just felt like it was a step down, I think, across the board outside of maybe the action stuff. I think the action stuff, whenever they did anything Superman related that was, that they had a go at and they tried, I think exceeded what they did in season 1 in regards to at least how it looked.
Okay.
What
did you think about
you know what?
I
think they know that there's criticisms for season 2, which makes me very excited for season 3 because.
So you think that Todd Helbing is going to correct the course for Superman?
At least realize what people are thinking and going, okay, well, I can't do that again. You know what I mean? You can make errors in other fields because those will be your first mistake in those fields. But I think once you make the same mistakes again, it's shame on you.
I don't know if they're gonna. I don't think we're gonna see Bizarro again. I think that storyline is done. And Doomsday, they could do it, but we're not gonna get it the comic accurate Doomsday because they already did the basically that they did that visual in this season. So we might get a Doomsday similar to like the fully formed Doomsday, but not.
What about Smallville Doomsday?
No, let's
paramedic
turn
as a Doomsday. Yeah.
Does anybody feel like the resolution for Superman in the season, like getting souped up on the sun and all of that, does anybody feel like that was a rushed, like sort of MacGuffin answer to everything, or are we okay with the way that happened in the finale?
I mean, it looked cool as hell, but
it did.
Yeah, like it's rushed, and it's also could argue, it's gonna have issues with next season, like, oh, well, he needs to get powerful again, chuck him into the sun, do him again. So I'm going to assume they're going to make it that he starts next season off with like not some time sickness, but some sun sickness or something like that. Like it was just too much.
Well, this kills my dream. The actress that played young Kara went to be Violet in a series of unfortunate events on Netflix. So
I don't know if has she done anything since that though, because that like finished with a whimper.
Oh wait, they're done with that? It's canceled?
Well, it didn't get canceled. It just ended, but no one really watched the final season or something because they made them really quickly.
So we're getting a lot of rushed here, very rushed.
Well, yeah, they could. I don't know. It could be. I don't know if you're going to give Superman cancer, but you could say you got a melanoma or something like that. Or it's like, I had to get it cut out.
You can give him some mysterious Kryptonian sickness. Like they could come up with anything, really.
A bad sunburn.
All right, a couple things.
He got a tan just with the suit.
Yeah, maybe.
So he just hands a tan to his face. And
so honorable mention storylines or honorable mention stuff that I would like to talk about. Lucy was frustrating. She kept repeating the same mistakes all season long. I did enjoy this version more than the season 1 Supergirl version, but to be fair, they both got the same amount of screen time. And I think this one just kept doing the wrong thing over and over and over again. Do we want to see her return or no? Can she go away? Do you want her to come back?
No, you know the answer, Eric. No, chuck her in the bin. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Let's move on.
Let's give honorable mention to Tal Rowe. What a great storyline this season. Probably one of the best storylines, I think. And he set up something for next season being on Bizarro Earth. He's giving away cars. Just doing the most.
I think they're going to call him Bowling in Bizarro World. I think that's what I think that's his tagline.
So more Tal Rowe, less Tal Rowe. Are we on team?
Probably don't want too much of him. I think you sort of got to keep it, centered, if that makes sense. But if he comes back, then that's fun. I think you got to bring him back when necessary.
Okay.
But yeah, he's just the cool rich uncle now.
He's gonna be he'll be the Superman of that Earth, really, because they don't have one, and they presumably still have bad guys on that Earth.
But he wouldn't have his powers wouldn't really work.
Well, he should be like half powered, right? Like they fought for a while with half power, so I mean, he could jack up on Kryptonite, right? And become like a Bizarro Tal Rowe, maybe.
Maybe.
Let's see. We also have the new fortress coming up, being created, and the promise of like the family dynamic next season. I don't know. Are we excited if we want to see more like in the fortress family stuff, or are we thinking that's not going to be good?
More barbecuing in the fortress. I'm all for it.
Let's see. All right. So that brings us to probably the last thing we're going to talk about from the season. Then we'll get everybody's scores or everybody's thoughts on it. The General Lane speech that we had in the finale.
God.
That go ahead. Yeah.
I think I can sum this up pretty well.
Yeah.
When we talk about this, like pretty much no one else have to give any thoughts because it pretty much sums it up really well.
Right. Well, I just want to talk about it. I'm going to give a quick thing on it, and then you can say what you're going to say, and we'll see what the chat thinks.
Go, Eric.
He reveals that this is not Earth Prime, which means it's not on the same Earth as like Supergirl, Black Lightning, The Flash, Arrow, all that, whatnot. I felt like the reason why it kind of frustrated me is it took the wind out of the sails of the finale. I think it was poorly placed in the episode. I don't think it was something that should have been kept secret. I think it's a really stupid thing to keep that as a secret, which leads me to believe that it wasn't decided early on, that it was decided very late. And the fact that they shoehorned it into the episode in a monologue that felt like it was added in for absolutely no reason. I don't mind that it's not on Earth Prime. I don't like the way it was handled, and I think it was it was something that kind of ruined the finale for a lot of people. That's my thoughts on it.
Interesting. Very insightful, Eric.
Okay, what about you? What do you?
Oh no, it's just an L. Yeah.
Oh, it's an L.
It's just an L. It's just an L, a yikes, a what? Question mark with an exclamation point. Just a wow.
I mean, it did. It took the wind out of the sails of that finale.
You know what they call?
I think
they call that the Will Smith. I think they call that the slap. It was
edgy.
Yeah.
Edgy, if not, but correct.
So the problem is that the speech doesn't even make sense within the lore of the own show, which is why I'm like, what?
I like to call that the Todd Helbing wrote it 2 months ago and then changed his mind in between filming.
Did we forget the speech that Diggle had in season 1 with the general?
Well, they obviously did.
It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, the way I like to think about it is season 1 up until midpoint of season 2 was on Earth Prime.
I would agree
when we flew into Bizarro World, we didn't come back out on Earth Prime. We came back out on Earth Todd.
So you think that the switch happened when they came back from the Bizarro World? Is that what you're thinking is going on? So overall, I enjoyed the season.
Ooh.
I think the problem is it's going to be tarnished by that scene in the finale that really just brought the whole thing down for me as a viewer. And I don't think that was not that they did.
Hey! The good thing is that sure they're not in the Arrowverse anymore, but Superman and Lois has Gotham Knights to look forward to.
Okay,
so,
yeah, we're gonna get to that.
Todd,
we're gonna get to that.
You've done it, mate.
Let me just say
you know
this,
what?
though. Go ahead, Lance.
You know what? I'm just gonna say it.
L.
Titans and Doom Patrol did it better. All right. Black Lightning did it better.
Correction. Doom Patrol did it better. Titans tried to connect itself, and Doom Patrol was like, no, not happening.
Hey,
so
at least we knew. All right,
yes,
we didn't go a whole 2 years.
I don't.
Oh yeah, we're in the same universe. Then we all get.
And I can't understand
face.
the amount of people who were like, "Oh, it was never connected." They made it very obvious in season 1 that they were pulling the strings together.
Those
because
are Arrowverse haters.
They had crossover potential plans for it's.
Yeah,
Batwoman specifically was one of them. They had crossover plans with. So, I don't believe anything that was said about them deciding this back in season 1. I do not believe that. I think that was totally. I think that's a lie. So for me, it brought the whole season down because I feel like it was an unnecessary middle of an episode reveal. Like, what did they think this reveal was going to do? Honestly, did they think people were going to be like, "Oh, this is so cool"?
Everybody was just like, "What?"
It's like when they re-released Morbius in theaters. It's sort of like that, and they expected everyone to flock, cheer in the theaters. Ironically,
can we talk about the upside to this though? Because there is an upside to them being not the way they handled it, but to the split. I think the upside is now that they're on another Earth, they can create.
Look, I think the thing is, and I think this is the baseline of it all. It has nothing to do with the Arrowverse. They keep saying, "Oh, it's this 10 years of history that's there," and it puts them in it gives them like baggage to hold on to, or it just gives them a clean slate.
Crisis.
Even though you don't want to blame anything, it is Supergirl. That is specifically the reason they want to shift Earths.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? It's
100%.
not even Supergirl's fault.
Right.
Because Todd Helbing just completely forgot about the big crossover they did 3 years ago. Or not even 3 years ago, 2 years ago, in the form of Crisis. How many villains did Supergirl use since that point? 2?
Yeah.
So the only thing I can think of is that they want to use Lex Luthor and they don't want to use John. They don't want to use John Cryer.
That's it. Bingo. Like that is dark.
That's the only. If I'm looking after post Crisis on Supergirl, I'm like, what's there that Supergirl used that they would be like, no, we want to do something different. And the only thing I can think of is Lex Luthor.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't be surprised if they went and tried to get John Cryer and he would just play a different version. It just seems like Todd is still going to be pulling from the Arrowverse.
That's the thing. He will keep. That's the thing. They're going to keep cashing off the Arrowverse because they're using Diggle and they keep talking about they could use Oliver Queen. They could use Stephen Amell.
I've seen advertisements for Comic-Con that put the Flash and Superman and Lois on a poster together. So they're
not even at Comic-Con,
right?
Which is hilarious,
right? I want to address this, Sean. Crisis happened everywhere. That's the thing. Is like. Crisis was supposedly a multiversal event that would have affected all DC properties. That's why they had so many different shows like cameo in Crisis. So I'm going to assume that her Earth was still destroyed with the Crisis event. But when John Henry came over, he didn't go to like Earth 1. He went to some other Earth.
Earth Todd.
Yeah. I mean, that's really the only way we can address that. Okay, so everybody give your score for this season of Superman and Lois. What did you think of it? 1 to 10. Give a quick thought. Like, was it good, bad? Did you love, hate something? Go ahead and give your score in the.
I just realized you changed your lights to X Kryptonite for today.
I did. I'm getting energy here, so I'm doing that. So.
Oh, bulk roiding up, are we?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Naruto with a $5 super chat. Since the fortress is in the ocean now, watch them have an episode where ship crashes into the fortress. Paigey, didn't you mention that, or was it Lance? What do y'all mention that they can
me.
just?
But I saw some people in that chat saying that it's in the Bermuda Triangle.
That doesn't mean the Bermuda Triangle isn't cold like that. The Bermuda Triangle is in the Bahamas, in the
tropical,
tropics.
Yeah.
Yep.
Could
But
be stormy.
like
If it was stormy or something, then fair
like
enough.
Paigey says, some people aren't blessed like that. So, yeah.
All right, we're gonna move into the next segment here. We're gonna just kind of go over because I think I don't know, Lance, did you do a video about the David Ramsey stuff?
I briefly spoke about it in my Stargirl video at the end.
All right, so we're gonna talk about this interview done with Comic Chris at the London Film and Comic Con with David Ramsey. I want to start off with the stuff that I don't think is accurate, and this is not against Comic Chris. This is just what David Ramsey said. I don't think David Ramsey is in a position to speak on the Flash, right? Like on the show being renewed or canceled or what they plan on doing. I don't think any of that he's not in the position to speak on that, right? Are we fair to say that? Because I don't think him saying, "Oh, it's going to end in season 9." How does he know that?
He's best friends with Eric Wallace.
What I'm saying is, if Eric Wallace knows it, would he want David Ramsey revealing that?
Exactly. I don't think anybody would want. I don't think David Ramsey would be that, dumb to do that. That's like putting your own career on the line.
I just don't. I don't get it. I think that was the stuff that people were kind of doubting whether the interview was real or not, because that seems like it's out of pocket a little bit.
What was out of pocket?
Saying that the Flash is going to end with season 9. Like, how would David Ramsey?
Well, I think even the Comic Chris even said that he felt like David was just assuming. He didn't put it down as a fact.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can really.
I just don't even understand why David said it. To be honest, it just seems really weird to me. I guess.
I think you might. By the sounds of it, it sounds like he set it off like it wasn't like a main thing he was talking about. It was like thing on the side. He said it.
Essentially, though, he's saying that when the Flash ends, whether it's season 9 or not, that is the end of the Arrowverse. That they're not going to be spinning off any more shows from the Arrowverse. Now, that part, I believe, is possible. I don't know if there's any reason to continue making Arrowverse shows now at this point, right? Do we agree that that's kind of
I think it doesn't really matter either or, whether it's Superverse or Arrowverse. I think they're the same in regards to whether you want to spin off. It's about where their intentions lie in regards to focus. Do they want to focus on the Superverse and build that world out? Because for the most part, it's a completely clean slate, and they can introduce like a character that maybe appeared in the Arrowverse, but then give them their own show with maybe a recast or something like that, or maybe even using the same actor, whatever it might be.
It's also weird to me because Superman and Lois, regardless of what Earth they're on, is a spinoff from Arrowverse. Like, it is a spinoff show, even though they're not technically in the Arrowverse, because those characters were introduced in the Arrowverse, which adds to so much confusion for everyone.
Well, you know what it's like? It's like if Tom Holland's Spider-Man, he's introduced in the MCU, then starts to appear in Madden Web or something like that. But that's meant to be a Sony Spider-Man movie, or he starts to appear in those things. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's like a similar case.
But
go ahead.
It still seems weird that he mentioned all of this and they're going to be bringing in Gotham Knights and Justice U, but you just neglect the fact that it's still a whole nother show on the network. Stargirl, where does she lie? Because even if the Flash does end season 9, I don't see Stargirl ending right now. Anyway.
No, Stargirl's still doing really well. Where would
Stargirl fall?
Yeah, but I don't think Stargirl feels the need to do it. I think Stargirl can survive on its own.
Right. So, Gary,
but
thank you.
Still in the greater multiverse of the Arrowverse, and if you're going to be connecting all these other shows, you have this one lone show literally
where Jay Garrick
alone.
crossover, like we got a Jay Garrick in there.
So where is that going to fall? Like it just feels like that's being left out by the wayside. Yes, it can survive on its own, but at the same time, why should it have to? When you've already went out of your way.
Why isn't it putting posters with Flash and Superman and Lois together, but no Stargirl on it? I mean,
exactly.
If they're both split off, then Stargirl could be on the poster too. It doesn't make any sense. It's kind of weird, honestly. That is a little weird.
No Gotham Knights poster at Comic-Con.
Oh, it was there. No, it was there. It was in the bin. It was in the bin though, but it was still there.
Gary with 19 super chat, is the Flash getting delayed later than February? I don't even know if it's
based off Stargirl's release date. It's probably coming out in January.
Yeah. So
and Paige, I said that in my video too, but I was not stealing it from you. I'm smart.
So the other thing that Lance just mentioned is David Ramsey also revealed that Gotham Knights is in the same universe, which, by the way, it's been dubbed the Superverse, in case people haven't picked up on that yet.
L9, but...
The Superverse. Gotham Knights, a show that was not well received in that trailer.
Well, this is the thing. Do you think, and this might make Todd Hellman go, oh, shit, why did we do that in the season 2 finale? Yeah. Gotham Knights come out, absolute dog shit. No one likes it. Mm-hmm. And they include a reference in Superman because it needs to be reminded. Eric, do you have your calendar on in your brain? Okay, stick a pencil in your ear and start tinkering and writing things down. They're probably going to put these two shows on the same night, similar to what we saw with Naomi. They're going to promote it. It's the same Earth. Welcome to the Superverse or whatever it is. Gotham Knights is going to come out absolute diarrhea in the worst possible way.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a good way, but in the worst possible way. There's no one to clean it up. And Superman and Lois just have to try and mask the smell. Like, that's pretty much what's going to happen there. Justice U, which isn't even... Do we have a pilot for that? Isn't even being made. It sounds like they're going to use Superman and Lois season 3 through Diggle's appearances to maybe set it up.
And maybe it'll come out like later in the fall.
Well, it'll probably come out the following season.
Yeah,
I would assume.
You want to know what else doesn't really make sense?
What's
You're
that?
dubbing this the Superverse. You're saying that that's what they're going with. But it's been clear the CW never even acknowledged that it was called Arrowverse.
Right.
They're calling everything the CW verse.
To be honest,
why would they just jump to
They
Superverse?
They did years ago. But then when Crisis happened in Stargirl,
and Arrow went off when Arrow.
Well, no, it wasn't necessarily because Arrow was technically still on. But when it was like just before, it was like when Crisis was happening, and Stargirl was going to be coming out. Then they tried to slide in CW verse
because
like
Stargirl was kind of the outlier.
It wasn't because it wasn't in the Arrowverse, but they still wanted to call it something verse. Right. But they had used Arrowverse, like at the Comic-Con panels. They had Arrowverse on them, and the CW and WBTV do them.
Right.
And they use the term Arrowverse and stuff like that.
So the thing is, though, that like Justice U is still sort of a fart in the wind. We don't know what's going to happen with that.
Fart in the wind? It might be a bit stronger than that. Chemical leak in the wind.
I don't have a good feeling about Gotham Knights. I'm not saying that I won't watch it. I won't give it a shot, but I don't have a good feeling about it.
To be honest, I only I watched the trailer once before, just in the background. Not in the background, but like you half watch something. You're not really over listening. When I did my video the other day and I included the Gotham Knights trailer in there, just like playing in the background when I was talking about it, I thought, I might sit down and watch this thing properly. It's not very good. It looks really cheap.
It does.
And when people keep saying that, like, this is the hilarious thing with the Superman and Lois separating itself, from the Arrowverse, is that now they're apparently attaching themselves to a show which looks worse than any of the Arrowverse shows that have ever been around.
Yeah.
Ever. It looks so cheap.
This could be a big mistake. I agree. And I think that I think that's pretty much that's the gist of everything he said, right? That this is a new Superverse and that these shows are
clean slate, and this is our Arrow, Flash, and I guess Supergirl.
Right.
These are first opening shows coming in.
Because
you got to remember, keep in mind, the Flash. What Gotham Knights is to Superman and Lois is what technically the Flash was to Arrow.
True.
The first quote unquote spin-off or connection.
That sounds so bad.
So compare season 1 of the Flash to what we're seeing with Gotham Knights. And look, Gotham Knights could come out I don't think it's going to be anything great, but it could be fine. It could be watchable. It could be serviceable. It could have an interesting story that we just don't get from the pilot. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not, but that could happen. I've been surprised before. Eric loved Inhumans. I didn't. So
I did not love
there's,
Inhumans.
there's been examples of that in the past. It makes you wonder whether there's no connective tissue at all, outside of maybe them being on the same night, and then they wait and see how Gotham Knights performs before they slide in any references. Whether it's Clark, maybe they run off a different timeline.
Look how long they waited before they did anything Arrowverse connected. Diggle was the first thing, and that was very loosely connected.
Even if they do it where like maybe the events of Gotham Knights don't happen till the back half of wherever Superman and Lois is. So they can allow the first half of the season to play out, wait and see how everyone reacts, and then maybe in the finale or a couple of last episodes of Gotham Knights or in Superman and Lois, they reference each other, like Superman and Lois references Bruce Wayne dying, and there being a mystery around his murder, and that his son has been suspected of it.
Which, by the way, that was what spurred sort of the argument on social media. Was I'm like, how does Batman exist in this world? But then General Lane's like, Superman's the only hero we got. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
This sounds 10 times more messier than just keeping Superman and Lois in the Arrowverse.
Yeah, and this has to be said for the chat. I mean, 99.99% of you are still going to take what we're saying as fact. This is just speculation because
this is fact. This is fact. Gotham Knights will be bad.
That's Gotham Knights will be bad. That's fact. Like, the trailer does nothing to make me think otherwise, because they literally show you the entire first episode.
And keep in mind, Lance, we lost Batwoman for that show.
Yes, we lost Batwoman for that. But the whole Superverse, Gotham Knights being connected, Justice U being connected, it's all speculation. For all we know, David Zaslav could look at David Ramsey and just be like, you know what? Just keep directing. We're not going to worry about it. Right. Okay, this is all speculation. We're just speculating here. It's not 100% fact.
Isn't that a dance move, the speculator? Isn't that like a... I think that might have been,
when it gets confirmed, I
think it's a combination of a chalk and a finger to the chin. Maybe like you put like the thinker, like the fist to the chin while chalking.
Antonio here with the 99 super chat. How does Jordan and Lois get back and forth to the fortress? Jordan, you can't fly without crashing. If Superman's always busy, how will that work?
Team No L's.
Yeah, I love that.
Well, Eric's definitely not a part of that team.
That's my team. No L's.
No, you're just Team L's.
No, I'm Team No L's.
Okay, it must be opposite day. Whatever. Eric.
Maybe they have a helicopter. Maybe they have the Thanos,
or like a portal,
like that. Maybe, I don't know.
That
is a very good point
that we're not going to get an answer for. If we're going to be completely honest,
we're not going to be there. Like, they'll show up and
technically you can have Clark carries Jonathan there and Jordan carries Lois,
or they're going to hit us with the Cisco of this earth built us a teleportation technology,
or
because they're just shoehorning
teleportation technology.
Now, Paigey, is it the Justin Hartley Aquaman, or is it the Jason Momoa, or is it the Alan Richardson?
It is the Jermaine Clement one from Super Pets.
Okay, there we go. Last thing I want to say before we move into this, I'm worried about this quiz. I have no idea what this quiz has in it. But before we move into that, I will, if this pans out to be true, if everything David Ramsey said is true, with the exception of the Flash stuff, because I still don't think that's...
I need him to do a video or something.
I will need written apologies from everyone that told me that Superman and Lois is still technically in the Arrowverse, because if this is true, that means they are not technically in the Arrowverse.
It's in the Arrowverse multiverse, Eric.
There's no Arrowverse multiverse.
Yes, there is. Those Earths still exist.
No. I'm not disagreeing with that. But what is the Arrowverse what constitutes as the Arrowverse multiverse?
Titans, Doom Patrol.
We went over this. No,
I didn't ask you.
Superman Returns.
Right.
Earth, the newer the DCEU is technically the new Earth 1.
So technically every live action DC show that's ever been on.
Yes, they've literally said that.
That's just the DC multiverse. That's not the Arrowverse multiverse.
It's connected to the Arrowverse, though. If it was not for the Arrowverse, bringing all of those together,
Titans has never stepped foot on Earth Prime or interacted with any characters from the Arrowverse.
That's still the
Well, here's a big thing: is Morbius in the MCU?
Yes.
How?
I'm being stupid. Like, no, it's
Well, no, because based off that logic, Michael Keaton's one from the MCU
Oh,
went to
that's true.
Morbius.
That's true. I agree there's a multiverse that all these shows exist in. I disagree that there's a part of it called the Arrowverse multiverse. That doesn't work for me. I just don't understand that. Because what would be the DCEU multiverse?
Look, the way I view it is, and I think this is the correct way because it's it's me, W.
Look,
This is the Arrowverse is just the set of shows.
It's the CW verse.
Well, that's the thing. If you want to call it the CW verse, that would encapsulate every show that's DC. Right. But Arrowverse to me is anything that's connected consistently to those shows. So those Supergirl was, on a separate Earth for 4 or 5 seasons, whatever it was. It was still a part of the Arrowverse as soon as Grant went over, because that was when they actually made some proper connective tissue. I wouldn't put Titans in the Arrowverse. I wouldn't put Doom Patrol, any of those weird little cameos that weren't really cameos because they were past footage.
Yeah.
Would you put Black Lightning in it before he just was randomly pulled in by?
No, Black Lightning became a part of the Arrowverse in Crisis.
Yes, I agree with that.
Because there was no proper connective tissue.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I don't consider Stargirl to be Arrowverse. Like, because we don't even know if that Jay Garrick is the same Jay Garrick. We can't go by that.
No, well, that's Stargirl's like
go by that.
Stargirl's like Superman and Lois. We thought was part of the Arrowverse, and then it wasn't.
Stargirl's a bit of a rough one at the moment because we haven't had the shows say that it's the same version. We didn't see that Jay
the only
leave
person said that was John
and
Wesley Shipp, and we know the actors don't always say.
Look, this is a pointless argument. Let's get into this quiz because whenever it's
we got one more super chat though.
Okay, sweet.
And this one, I don't want to spoil it because we are.
We can give our overall thoughts without spoiling it. There's not much to spoil.
There's not much to spoil except for the very end, which is what I'm trying not to spoil. I thought it was really good, and the reason why is because it was a show that I watched where I didn't know a lot about that community, and I got a chance to really sort of understand more about that world. And so I actually really enjoyed it from that regard. And I think Miss Marvel was handled very well. I know some people didn't like they changed the powers. I think it's fine, me personally, but it's not, I don't own the character, so people are willing to feel differently if they want. I thought it was a pretty strong series, and I would probably put it in my top 3 shows on of the Marvel shows on Disney Plus, because there's most of them I've been kind of like on the fence about anyway. I thought they were just good and serviceable, but this one I actually really enjoyed, and I like what it's leading into. That's my general thoughts. Anybody want to chime in on that? Or
like I thought it was just fine. I think it easily could have just been a movie, but I've accepted that Disney Plus is just turning movie ideas into 6-part series because they don't think it will do well in the box office. I think that's, except for like WandaVision's the only show which actually fit the format. Mm-hmm. So I've sort of accepted that by this point. But I agree with you in regards to, especially the creators were all, for the most part, a part of the Muslim community, which you got to appreciate when they make something like this because it was so integral, especially when it comes to like the origin aspects of everything. So you got to appreciate that. But I just thought it was fine. I think if you're going to watch it, it's because it's handled differently. I did like the style of it as well. It actually had like a unique style, just didn't feel like it was being made. The style sort of drops off, like in those, like I think the first 2 episodes have that unique style, and then it sort of drops off for like the next 3, and then it picks up again the finale.
Which Eric Kripke called out on social media that if you're doing like a show that's only like 6 or 8 episodes, you don't have to wait till the very end to like get to the exciting stuff.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean when they're just turning movies into series.
Yeah.
And that's where I think you really, that's where you feel the issues and those like things. I found Kamala a bit annoying at first, but then I grew to really like her. She was I think it was just a bit too full on. Like she had that really full on personality, but I ended up really liking her at the end of it. And I never read the comics, so I don't really have any really care about the powers or anything like that. The most I learned from her about her was in the Avengers game, and that was trash. But like that's where I learned it wasn't.
I would say my top 3 in no particular order would probably be WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Ms. Marvel. That would be my top 3, and Loki would be a very close.
I think mine's WandaVision, Loki, and then this.
Yeah,
and I think WandaVision and Loki top it because they're the ones that actually felt like shows.
What are you, Lance? Thoughts on this before we move on?
I loved it. I thought she did a phenomenal job this being her very first acting role.
Mm.
I think she killed it. The story was great. Getting to learn that culture and seeing what all went into that was very well done.
Yeah.
I honestly I can't wait to see more of her. Um, I'm glad she's getting the full on MCU experience. I mean, she just got into this and she's already on a Disney cruise ride.
So I thought about something, and I just want to chime on this briefly. I don't want to drag I'm very known for dragging the whole show down. So I don't want to drag the show down here, but I want to say something, and maybe people can chime in for me. And I want you guys to think of this like completely objectively and not subjectively. Like think about it from the outside. It seems like a lot of times I run into people that don't like shows because they don't identify with anybody on the show. So immediately to them, that makes it bad. Like they're like, oh, why would that person do this? Or why would that person do that? In communities that they're not necessarily a part of. So they don't always get it. Right. Do you think that a lot of times some of the criticism for shows that are not your typical like characters and stories, do you think they get scrutinized in a weird way because these shows are supposed to appeal to a mass audience? Do you think there's portions of the audience that aren't interested because they just are not part of that community? And so they are like, I don't like it because I don't know what it's like to be a Pakistani teenager. Like, I don't know. So they immediately don't like it because they're just like, I don't understand the show. Is that part of it? Because how can you be objective about the quality of something if you don't even understand the world the characters live in? You know what I mean? Then it becomes just a personal opinion on taste, and that's not always the measure of whether a show is good or not. If you understand.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think that's always going to be, whether it comes down to what we're saying with Miss Marvel, where the whole religious and cultural aspect of it, or if it just comes down to where a actual thing is set. It can even be like in a certain part of a certain country or whatever it is. Like if you're not, and I think it comes down to maybe people not being comfortable. Like for me, pretty much everything I watch, it's not in my world, if it makes sense. Like everything's like American or international or something.
I see some people in the chat already taking that comment personally, and I think that's kind of
it's not meant to. Yeah, it's not meant to be personal. It's more just
everybody has their own opinion about this. Like this is not me accusing anybody of anything. I'm not saying that you specifically don't like something for that reason. I'm saying in a general statement, I do believe that a lot of times we don't, like, for example, I don't work on cars, right? I'm not somebody that does mechanical stuff. I wouldn't tune into a reality show about mechanical stuff and then be like, this fucking sucks. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't understand that world.
Wait, so what you're saying is I should be concerned about the amount of serial killer shows I watch?
Probably. But I do believe, but my point being is that if you have an open mind and you're interested in actually learning something, like say, for example, I wasn't a mechanic, but I wanted to learn from the people that do that, I would tune into that with an open mind, and I would just accept it as something that I'm being shown that I don't understand. But if I automatically tune into something because it's under the banner of something I love, which is very broad, superheroes, very broad banner, and then I get sucked into a story with a culture that I don't understand, what is my basis on saying it's badly done? Like it's badly acted, it's badly written. I don't necessarily know. Now, yes, there's some fundamentals you can look at, but overall, unless it makes some egregious issues with its writing, what is my point of reference for that?
Well, I think it's also, I think what a lot of the people fail to grasp with these shows is that a lot of the times they're presented in a very realistic way to show that everyone's the same.
Yeah.
It's just that we have different aspects of our lives that we live differently. And I think Miss Marvel nails that, where, people have certain, views or, opinions on how the Muslim community is and how they live their lives and the religious aspect of things as well. But then you go into the home life of, you also see when they're in the mosque and everything like that, but also in the home lives. And then just, they're just having a ball, having a laugh. There's obviously like the conservative nature and everything like that, which is brought up, but it's not like it's, chained to a bed or something like that. And you can't live Kamala can't live a life or whatever it is.
Right.
There is just, certain ideals that her parents have. Right. And it mainly comes of how they were raised as well. It also shows like that change in culture when we go generation by generation as we go into the future.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Lance? Any thoughts on that? Do you feel like people tend to gravitate towards stuff that they are a part of, or that they're interested in, versus something that immediately seems foreign to them? Like, do you think that is a factor in the way people feel about the shows sometimes?
Most definitely. That is a factor when it comes to any type of media, anything that you don't automatically identify with, it's always going to be some apprehension towards it.
Mhm.
Especially when it comes to things of like different races and religions and
Mhm.
stuff like that. That's just the world we live in. It's just how you handle it
Mhm.
going forward. Like I'm not going to tell you how to feel about it, but me
Right.
personally, I'm not just gonna keep hating it just because I don't get it. It's not.
Right.
I'm gonna give it a chance. Like me, I've read Miss Marvel comics. I knew what to expect. They nailed it to me. So
I mean, can I give a personal example of this so that people will stop taking this so personally in the chat? Because I think a lot of people are offended by just asking a question. Naomi is a good example for me. So I started watching Naomi, and after about 3 or 4 episodes, I realized that it wasn't interesting to me. I didn't necessarily right. I didn't. That show was made for a demographic that wasn't generally designed for me, right? And that's okay. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Some shows are designed for certain demographics. Certain shows are designed for a broader audience, and that's absolutely fine. So I stepped away from Naomi because I didn't personally like it. But every week we got chats from people that were loving the show and telling me to tune back in and to check it out. So objectively looking at it, it wasn't necessarily a bad series, right? If you look at it from the standpoint of whether or not it actually functioned as a series. Subjectively, by personal opinion, to me, it wasn't very good. But that wasn't because I think the show was creating any problems. There were problems for me personally, but that doesn't mean the show is objectively a bad show. It just means that it didn't appeal to a broader audience. Now, you can look at a show or a movie and go, yes, there was a lot of mistakes in it. The pacing is off. The cinematography is bad. The directing is bad. The editing is bad. Those are things that you can look at objectively without any personal bias and just go, yeah, something's wrong with those things. But we're talking about like characterization or actors or emotions and feelings. Those are all things that come off as a subjective personal opinion. And those don't necessarily make something a bad thing. So I just want people to keep that in mind. I'm not saying that you have to necessarily identify with something to like it. I'm saying that you are immediately attracted to things that you personally identify with. That is how all TV and movies are made. That's how advertisers make things for you. When you scroll through Twitter, when you scroll through Instagram, when you scroll through Facebook, TikTok, whatever you're scrolling through, they are targeting you with stuff that they think your demographic is going to be interested in. Everything is made to be marketed to a certain group of people. There are going to be outliers. There's going to be shows that are going to break the mold on that. But that doesn't mean that everything is designed and structured that way. That's all I'm saying. I don't think anybody has to take it personally. If you're taking it personally, then I don't think it's what I'm saying. I think it's something bigger than that, honestly. So see here, this comment. I didn't say that. You are projecting that. That is not what I said. I said, do you believe that some people don't like certain shows and TV shows because they cannot identify with it? That is what I said. I said nothing about people who didn't like Miss Marvel didn't like it because of their race. I never said that. That is projecting. I didn't say that. Clip where I said that.
He didn't. I can't. Hold on.
that.
Let me go. Yeah, he didn't say that. He was pretty much. Yeah, he didn't say that. I won't speak for Eric.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I'm just asking if that's why some people don't like something. If you take offense by that, then it's not what I said. You literally just said that. Everyone who didn't like Miss Marvel is not because of race.
You just said.
I never said that.
Eric, you're getting gaslit.
I never said that. If you were saying that that's what I said, then you were projecting. I'm sorry. And you're here every week. I love your support, but don't put words in my mouth. I take enough L's on my own.
It is true. I can confirm
I don't need help taking L's. I can take them myself.
Yeah, he does them on his own.
I am simply saying that people seem to tune into things that they resonate with. I don't think that's an edgy thing. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. And that brought it down. So let's bring it back up again. Paigey has a quiz here. So hopefully this is not. Is this going to get me canceled? Is this one?
No. It's actually a very tame quiz for once.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody's support. We can have a difference of opinion, but please don't put words in my mouth. Like, again, I say enough awful things. You can get me on a lot of stuff. It doesn't have to be with stuff that I didn't say. So
Anyway, speaking of edgy, Ezra Miller Runaway Spectacular is the
oh,
title of the
Wow.
quiz.
Here
You
we
can tell
go.
that's how old it was. I think I made this quiz when the Runaway happened.
yes, I'm a walking L, Miata. That's true.
Okay, so I'll just name them. You got Lance. Lace? No, we got Lance. And I'll go L. We'll actually give you a proper name. We'll go Eric. Eric.
I don't think Fresh Sounds Florida's butthurt. All right, so let me close the chat. All right.
Okay.
Going to private chat here.
Same for you, Lance. Put it on private chat.
It's on private chat.
Dunkershield, I'm the only one that can see the chat. I'll
So
read it
while
out
the
if
chat is closed, you guys can project all you want.
I'll
Words
read,
in my
if
mouth,
anything,
but-
if anything, if anything happens, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Anyway, so we got a super chat. I don't know if you want to quickly go over and read it while I'm.
Oh,
reading
wait,
this out.
hold on, do we? Okay.
We
Let's
got
get this out of the
Stranger
way here.
Things, Jurassic Park, 80s films, 90s films, and random. I have no
let me
idea what's in
remove that
random.
little thingy up there in the corner, the little branding thing. All right, there we go. All right, so we have a super chat from Multi-Topic Talk, $20 super chat. The writing in Miss Marvel is not on point. Lot of the on the nose dialogues. Cartoon villain. There's no backstory. 2 filler episodes in a 6-episode season. Lack of superhero villains. Said non-lethal but blow up stores. Jen flip side in episode 1. So a lot of spoilers in case you haven't watched Miss Marvel there.
Where was their filler? You know what? I don't want to get into it. We can talk about it at a later time.
It wasn't
Yeah,
really
we-
filler. It was more stretching it out.
Yes, it was. I'll agree. It did. There were episodes in the center that were a little long-winded, but the cartoon villain with no backstory, I think they could have done a better job, I guess, with addressing that. But I think the issue was they were also setting up this world in a small.
Yeah.
Like I think the show either needed to be a movie or more episodes. That's how I feel about it. There could have been a lot better stuff. But I loved Amani. I loved Kamala. I thought she was a great character, and her friends were a lot of fun. So, and her family, I loved, even though they were kind of annoying parents. I did
Yeah,
love
like
her.
the dad, it looked like an Arabic version of Eric.
Yeah.
But
Like-
in the end, yeah. How many superheroes can you say actually have both parents? They have the entire.
Oh, there we
family
go.
and
All right, back to
support.
private chat. Back to private chat. You know what we should do, honestly, is maybe between now and next week is do a video on Ms. Marvel, so we can just talk about it.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Anyway, back to private chat, you two.
Okay,
Back to
there we go.
private chat.
Close
You got
up.
another super chat, Staggerville. I'll read it out.
Okay.
You made a good point, Eric. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos where people take topics like that a little too personally.
who is that from?
Staggerville.
Okay.
$4.99.
All right. Thank you, Staggervore. I try to not take anything too personally, but I get heated. You guys have seen it. Sometimes I do get a little bit upset about stuff.
Eric got angry at me when I made fun of his glasses once.
Yeah,
It was-
exactly.
It was rough.
I think if people take a step back and look at something and not take it so personally, I think it does help with understanding why you like or dislike something. But everybody, all of us are guilty of taking things personally. But thank you
Hold
for
on.
the super chat.
I just realized I have the coin flip app.
Okay.
I forgot I had that on the phone. God, it takes a while to load up. Okay. Heads or tails, Lance.
Heads.
Okay, it's flipping. It is heads. Lucky Lance.
I try.
Okay,
That's
which
my
one do you
magic
want?
Powers.
Which one do you want first?
Jurassic Park for 100.
Feel free to answer in the chat because the two contestants don't have the chat open, so you can answer in the chat if you want. Okay, Jurassic Park for 100. What island is Jurassic World on?
Isla Nublar.
Eric?
I think that's right.
Isla Nublar. Yes, the same island as the original Jurassic Park.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations. Eric.
Let's go. Let's make it spicy. Let's go with random for 100. Let's-
I once preface, no
Spicy.
clue what's in random. What color eyes do most humans have?
I'm gonna go with brown.
Lance?
I'd say brown.
What color eyes do you two have?
Brown, mine are brown.
Mine are brown as well. The answer is brown.
Yeah.
What color eyes does everyone else in the chat have? I have brown. They used to have brown as well.
All right.
Lance, you'll go.
Stranger Things for 100.
Stranger Things. Where do the boys discover 11?
In the woods on a rainy night.
Eric?
I think that's correct. Yeah.
That might be more specific than we needed, Lance. The woods. You don't get extra points for that.
Well, keep in mind, Lance just watched this like a week ago, so he should know most of these.
I don't think there's any season 4 in these, so I think it's
Yeah.
all season 1 to 3.
Yeah,
so-
still, he's watched all of them recently, so he's gonna get them all right probably.
Eric, you'll go.
I'm on a roll, so let's go with random 200 and see what this is.
What is often seen as the smallest unit of memory?
Of memory, like a computer memory.
I think it might be computer memory.
Megabyte. It's probably smaller than that, but I'm gonna go with the megabyte.
Lance,
Megabyte.
kilobyte.
Oh, that's true.
1,000 kilobytes
forgot
make
that was
a
a thing.
megabyte.
Yeah. Okay.
No points there.
Damn. All right.
Lance, you'll go.
I'm going to go with random for 300.
Oh, random for 300. Which planet is the hottest in the solar system?
Jupiter.
Eric, I think that might be one of the coldest, but Eric,
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
I'm thinking of two of them here. I'm gonna go with Mercury.
Venus.
That was my other option. Damn it.
Venus, no points. Eric, you'll go.
Let's go ahead with random 400. Zero out here.
According to Greek mythology, who was the first woman on Earth?
Oh crap.
Oh geez. Gaia?
Lance?
I don't know. Eve. I don't know.
That might be the Bible, if you're referring to that. But Pandora.
Oh, and her box. Pandora's box. You know what? That's not even keep it moving. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. No comment needed.
Oh my god.
Is it Lance's go?
Yes.
Yeah, Lance. You'll go.
Let's go with random for 500.
The only known monotremes in the animal kingdom are the echidna and which other creature?
What? Hedgehog.
Eric?
I think he's right, but I'm gonna say porcupine.
The clue is Australia.
Platypus.
Oh, I was just thinking about Sonic because you said it couldn't.
And
You know, Knuckles.
both the only two monotremes both live in Australia. Do you know what a
okay.
monotreme is?
No.
I think it's a mammal that lay eggs from.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it is a mammal that lays eggs. Is my go?
Eric's go, yeah.
Let's go with Jurassic Park for 200.
Ooh. I'll tell you what, we got a lot of questions down and no points. So this reminds me of, like, I think Eric and Ben had a go at once, which was terrible.
Yeah.
It was like
It might be a repeat of that.
In Jurassic Park 3, what does Billy steal?
An egg.
Lance?
A raptor's egg.
Raptor eggs.
Oh, so we're both wrong then. It was multiples.
I was closer. You didn't hear the S. My mic cut out.
Yeah. I
think
would have
that-
just taken, if you just said eggs, I would have taken it. I'll give it to Eric. Because I would have taken eggs. So an egg is fine.
Okay.
Lance, you'll go.
Jurassic Park for 300.
Jurassic Park for 300. Isla Nublar and its sister island are located in what country?
Oh crap. Europe? I don't know. I forgot.
That's a continent.
I know.
America.
I forgot.
Eric.
I don't know. Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't know.
Costa Rica.
I don't know.
I forgot.
I didn't pay much attention to that.
Eric, you'll go.
Let's finish out this Jurassic Park 400.
What brand is the shaving cream container Nedra uses to smuggle the frozen
geez.
embryos?
Oh my gosh. I've
I
seen this
literally was
meme
just talking
a million times. I don't know because I don't shave. So,
yeah, we don't need to know that.
I don't know. Just for men? I have no idea.
Lance?
Isn't it Barbasol?
Barbasol,
Okay,
yeah.
there we go. Good deal.
I was like,
Lance,
you just got to think of the scene. You just got to think of the scene. You'll see like the can and everything pops to your head. Lance, you'll go. Lance can strike away here if he gets this answer.
Jurassic Park for 500.
How many Academy Awards did Jurassic Park win?
3. I don't know.
Eric?
Before my time.
4?
I think it's not 3, aka 3, aka 3.
What? It's 9?
No, it's 3.
Well,
I was right, and it was a guess.
I can't tell with that answer. That's one of Paige's typical like confusing answers.
Eric, you'll go.
Let's go with 80s films for 100.
Ooh.
I'm staying away from Stranger Things, but I think he knows too much about it.
Name the film from which this line is taken. Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
Back to the Future.
I was going to do the actual. Wait a minute, Doc. You're telling me. Anyway, wait. What'd you say?
Back to the Future.
Lance.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future, Part 1. But we'll just say back.
Well, you didn't ask for this.
I think I think when it was released, it was just called Back to the Future.
Right.
Lance, you'll go.
Let's do 90s films for 100.
Well, there's photos here. What is the first rule of Fight Club? I remember this. You can put photos in these quizzes, and I started to tinker with it. Anyway, what is the first rule of Fight Club?
You do not talk about Fight Club.
Eric?
That's right. Yeah.
Never talk about Fight Club. That is correct. Eric, I think 90s films all has photos. So I think that's the only category that has photos. Eric, you'll go.
200 for 80s films.
What is the color of Slimer in Ghostbusters?
He's like green, like snot green. Green.
Lance?
Yes, mucus green.
Yeah, green. Eric up to 600. Lance, you'll go.
90s films for 200.
Who played Private Ryan in Saving Private Ryan? I don't know why this photo is so ginormously large.
It's huge.
Tom Hanks.
Anyway, who played Private Ryan? What? Tom Hanks. Eric.
I've never seen this movie ever. I don't think it would be Tom Hanks because he's actually. I think he's the one saving Private Ryan, but I don't know the actor's name, so I have no idea. Maybe it is Tom Hanks.
Matt Damon.
Oh,
yeah.
Matt Damon.
I've never seen that movie, so.
excuse me.
Eric, you'll go.
300.
80s films.
Yeah.
Which year was Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back released?
That was the second one. I'm gonna say 81.
Lance.
I was gonna say 1981 as well.
Don't want to give a different answer.
1980.
Oh! You got it. You got it. There he goes.
My tip is if you don't know, just give a different answer.
Yeah, the problem with me in that other movie was I just didn't even know who else was in the film.
Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure. I was like, it's 80 or 81 because any further than that, it's just too long.
I was trying to remember the production time for that film. So yeah.
Lance, your go.
I'm so glad I'm not sucking tonight.
The last
I'm gonna do 80s films for 400.
80s?
Yes.
Okay. In the movie Gremlins, what does Billy name his new Mogwai? It was in the news today.
Mogwai.
How convincing? Mogwai? How random is that? It was in all the news today, and this question's in here.
I did not see it, so I'm just gonna say Mogwai.
You haven't seen Gremlins? Oh,
no.
Eric.
Gizmo.
You have to watch Gremlins. I watch it every Christmas. It's one of my favorites.
Oh, that's a good idea. I never thought of that, but yeah, I should probably do that too.
Eric, you'll go. On the comeback now.
Let's crack out 90s films for 300.
Ooh. Which actress puts semen through her hair in There's Something About Mary?
Oh, I can see her. I just don't remember her name.
This scene always makes me cringe.
It does, but why can't I not remember her name?
5, 4.
Yeah, I don't know.
Lance?
Fran Drescher? I don't know.
Oh, that would be an interesting scene. It was Cameron Diaz.
Yeah, I could see her face. I just could not remember her name. It was on the tip of my tongue. All right.
Lance, you'll go.
Stranger Things for 200.
In season 2, what is the name that Dustin gives to the polywog he finds?
You cut out.
In season, you can read it, can't you?
Dang it! Why did I forget?
I don't remember
5,
this one, honestly.
4, 3.
Billy.
2.
I don't know. I forgot.
Eric?
It's probably some Dungeons and Dragons name, but I don't remember, so I'm going to say Spike. Dart. Yeah, but that is
That
a
was like the
Dungeons and
longer.
Dragons
Well,
name.
if it was that one, it'd be ridiculous
Yeah.
if you got it. But yeah,
The
Dart.
art again. The art again.
I forgot.
Lance? Oh no, Eric. Eric, you'll go.
Let's do 90s films for 400.
Home Alone is set in which city?
I'm going to say Chicago.
Dang it!
Lance?
Chicago.
Why do you know it's Chicago, Eric? The only reason I remember that is because there's a Michael Jordan.
Because I remember the airport. It was Chicago O'Hare Airport.
Oh, was
where
it?
they were at. So yeah, I believe so.
I just remember there's a Michael Jordan cutout or something like that.
But it was filmed in the Highland.
Yes, it was not filmed there. Yeah.
Lance, you'll go.
90s films for 500.
Ooh.
She's catching up too fast.
What was the movie Scream originally called with the ridiculously large photo again? But what was the movie
Picture.
Scream? I don't know why it's so ridiculously large, but
Holler? I don't know.
Eric?
Do you
I'd
want
love
play
to give a clue, but it's unfair because Lance already answered.
Do you want to play a game?
You'll be like, oh, I get it. Scary movie.
Oh,
That's why they call their parody movies scary movie.
Okay, gotcha.
That
that
actually
was-
makes a lot of sense.
It does.
And the
actually,
first and the first scary movie is Scream. They parody that mainly. Eric, you'll go.
Let's do Stranger Things for 300.
Oh.
You can't let him catch up.
In season 3, who was able to translate the Russian transmission?
What's that character's name? He was just in season 4. Lance is gonna get this because I can't. I'm drawing a blank on his name. So go ahead.
Well, it's not a him. Oh, actual
What is it? I don't remember. who
Lance
the character is.
knows. Lance knows it anyway, I can tell.
It's probably Dustin's girlfriend, but
Did he freeze?
No.
Oh no, you're just being really still.
I have Ethernet today, so I'm not freezing.
Okay. What's the answer, Lance?
It's Dustin's girlfriend. I just can't remember her name.
I don't think that's not right because I said that. I
Yeah.
said it's Dustin's girlfriend. So if that is
Yeah.
who it is,
Her
I should
name
get
was
this.
Robin.
Robin.
So was it?
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't Dustin's girlfriend. It was.
Robin. In the
I
ice
was
cream
thinking
shop.
about. But that's like a. Oh, the
You
transmission.
just watched
not
the season. You
Yeah.
just
No,
watched.
I haven't
I'm
watched
thinking-
I haven't watched season 3 in ages, and I know the answer's Robin.
I'm thinking about Murray translating Russian. I wasn't
That's-
thinking about the transmission.
Yeah.
See,
I'm thinking that was the point
That's
of the
a trick
question.
question.
Yeah, that was a trick question. All right.
Yeah. If anyone's saying it's not Robin, it's Robin. She does it in the ice cream shop.
yeah, the actual transmission, not
Yeah.
actually translating what a Russian guy is saying
Yeah.
to their faces. It's a difference.
It's
Lance, you'll go.
Stranger Things for 400.
In season 3, what does Alexei demand he get in order for him to talk?
Cherry icy.
Eric?
Strawberry icy.
He asks for a cherry one, he gets a strawberry and still drinks it.
Oh, I knew it was one or the other.
Yes, I gotta keep the distance.
Okay, so Eric, you have to. It's 2 500s left.
Right. I'm gonna go with 80s films for 500. Pressure's on.
Fantasia is the name of the fictional world in what 80s movie?
The Never-Ending Story.
Lance?
It's a Disney movie. Wait, isn't it? Isn't Fantasia the name of the fictional world in Fantasia?
Is that your
No.
answer?
I'm drawing a blank. Yeah, that's my final. I can't remember the name.
The Never-Ending Story.
Crap.
The Never-Ending Story.
There was a Disney movie called Fantasia, but it didn't come out in the 80s.
Yeah. It came out like
It was like the 60s, I
I was
think.
going to say it's like trippy. It's what people take like LSD and watch. Anyway, final question is Lance's Stranger Things. This
If he
either
gets this right, if he gets it right first, I'm just gonna be like,
I'm screwed. I don't have a backup answer. So I'm going to have to pull one out of my ass if both of you get this wrong. But Stranger Things for 500. Lance's question, he gets the first answer. In season 2, what is the name of the video game at the arcade that Dustin had the high score in?
Crap.
5.
I don't know.
4. 3. 2.
I do not know. I'm
1.
not even
Eric?
I should know that.
5.
I'm gonna say Centipede.
Dig Dug.
Ugh.
And Max takes it. It's a tied game at the end of this. It is a
Right.
tied game. 1900 all. This is the first tie we've had in
A long
God
time.
knows how long. And I literally have no idea what to do.
Nothing. We'll just leave it as a tie, and then we'll do another one next week. So,
Oh yeah, we'll just leave it as a tie because I don't have a question prepared because I just didn't think that was possible with that many
all right,
questions.
is there any super chats that I missed or no? I don't think so. Let me scroll through.
That's a bit underwhelming, but then again, I guess Eric doesn't take an L for once, so he takes.
Oh wait,
the
the
D,
Staggervore was the last
the
one.
draw.
Staggervore's here. We've already answered this one. So I just wanted to bring it up on screen.
Yeah, that was the
all
one I read out. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I know I made a comeback though, because if Lance would have gotten that right, he would have taken that L and
Yep.
walked away from it. And I was worried because I stayed away from that category because I'm like, Lance knows the answers to these. So
In my defense, I didn't know the Dig Dug one because at that time I was actively packing. So I was packing and watching.
Sounds like an excuse to me.
yeah. All right. Well, that's pretty much it. We thank you guys for coming in and all the super chats, all the Team Eric members. Next week we will be doing this again. I don't know if we're going to do it at the same time. We might. I have to talk to everybody afterwards. We might adjust the time again, but it'll still be on Thursday. So we'll let everybody know. But thank you so much. It was a lot of fun. Thank you everybody on Twitch for watching. We had a few Twitch viewers. Thank you so much for being here. Also, I just scrolled up. If there was anybody that disagrees with me or if I call them out, you guys, I appreciate you trying to like back me up, but don't dogpile on someone just because I had a little altercation with them or a little debate with them. I appreciate your support, but it wasn't that deep. So, but just thank you so much for doing that, and I appreciate it. All right, it's pretty much it. So before we go, Paige and I have had our channels forever, so I don't feel like we have to like promote that. But Lance he's trying to reach, how many subscribers are you trying to reach by the weekend?
I'm trying to just reach at least 500. That way I could get that good old community tab.
All right. So where are you at in your subscriber numbers?
According to this app, I am at 433.
Okay. So if you've been watching Lance over here and you enjoy all of his stuff on the after party and all the videos we do together, head over and support his channel. He's a really great guy. He's trying to put up some content. I totally all about it. So you guys head over and support him. Appreciate it. Let's get him to 500. I'm already a subscriber, so I can't add to that number. So there we go.
I need Paige to subscribe.
You do
and I
have
know I made it.
You do have those 74 alternate accounts that Eric that you use to dislike other people's videos. So use those.
Maybe. The other thing is, no, we did not forget about our boys review for the week. The issue was that by time I got my power back here, we were already like a day after the review was supposed to come out, and there was just no other days this week to do it. So what we're going to do is on Monday, and I need to reach out to Omega as well. We're going to talk about the finale, and we're going to talk about the whole season. So get ready. It'll probably be like a 45-minute to an hour long video for the boys. And it's under, well, if you're watching this live, you can't see it now, but as soon as the video goes back for playback, his channel will be linked in the info box. So if you don't see it now, just refresh the page in like 5 minutes and it'll be there.
Refresh.
Yeah, you know. So, but go over and support Lance. Like he doesn't clickbait.
It's literally
He
just
does less clickbait than I
doesn't
do.
clickbait yet.
Ringgold. I try to stay away from the clickbait. I don't want to be a clickbaiter.
All right. That's fine. If you don't watch the boys, that's fine. We're wrapping it up on Monday. And anybody that's interested, we will be talking about it over there. Because I know Pagey's not a huge fan of the boys either. It's not,
Mayada.
yeah. But anyway, thank you guys so much. We're gonna get out of here, and oh gosh, I'm not reading that comment. We're getting out of here. I will talk to everyone next time. Have a good night, and we'll see you later.